Good evening, West Orange, and thank you for your patience. We are just a few minutes behind schedule. Welcome to the Township Council meeting for November 24th, 2025. As we prepare for the Thanksgiving holiday, just want to remind everyone that municipal offices are closed Thursday and Friday, and have a happy Thanksgiving, everyone. At this time, I'd like to turn the floor over to our council president.
Thank you, Mr. Fagan, and thank you for everybody who's here. We just need to keep these doors closed because there's a lot of celebrating going on and it makes it hard to hear inside the chamber. So please don't open that back door. Just let people open and close it, please. Welcome, everybody. We've got an important event tonight. But unfortunately, it was originally on the agenda for the first, but someone just a little bit less important than the new councilwoman is going to be coming here in a little bit later. So we're going to move around the agenda. And we are going to start with the mayor's proclamation for World Pancreatic Cancer Day. It's an annual commemoration that we do, and have asked Mayor McCartney to come and kick us off. I also want to just apologize. I may have given our assistant town attorney, Mr. Greg Pasteur, who was supposed to be providing us, hey guys, come on. We've started the meeting. I'm fine and happy with you guys talking. Just do it outside, please. It really hurts our ability to hear. Anyway, as I was saying, our new assistant town attorney, Greg Pasteur, I gave him directions here.
He's here.
Oh, he is? Where is he?
He's speaking to Peter.
Oh, okay. So I thought I had gotten him lost. So obviously that didn't happen.
No.
Mayor McCartney, please kick us off.
Thank you, Council
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Do this every meeting. I apologize.
Okay.
You have to live with this another month and then I'm gone.
No, it's
Madam
fine.
Clerk.
This is to inform the general public that this meeting is being held in compliance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975. The annual notice was emailed to the Star Ledger and filed in the Township Clerk's office on January 7th, 2025, and published in the West Orange Chronicle on January 16th, 2025. Councilwoman Castellino.
Present.
Councilwoman Rudin.
Here.
Councilwoman Scarpa.
Present.
Councilwoman Williams.
Present.
Council President Kukoviac.
Present.
Mayor McCartney.
President.
Okay, now Mayor McCartney, please take it away.
Thank you, Council President. So good evening, everyone. I see we have a full house, and I know that everyone's here to celebrate the re-election of Councilwoman Tammy Williams. So welcome. We're all here to celebrate. So on tonight's agenda, we also have a proclamation. We consider November to be Movember for Mental Health and Awareness Month. And each year, Todd, I'm not really sure how many years we've been doing this, but for many years, we do recognize World Pancreatic Cancer Day, observed on November 20th. It gives an opportunity for communities, organizations, and individuals around the world to raise awareness about pancreatic cancer, its symptoms and risks, and the importance of early detection. And just like we did in October for mammograms and breast cancer, early detection in all kinds of situations is most important. In 2025, an estimated 67,440 people were diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in the United States, and 51,980 died from the disease. Approximately 1,400 people will lose their lives to pancreatic cancer in the state of New Jersey. Pancreatic cancer is one of the deadliest cancers. It's currently the third leading cause of cancer death in the United States and is projected to become the second leading cause within the next 5 years. Pancreatic cancer has the lowest survival rate among all major cancers, with a 5-year relative survival rate of just 13% and accounts for about 8% of all cancer deaths. When symptoms of pancreatic cancer present themselves, it is generally in the later stages, and less than 20% of the pancreatic cancer patients are diagnosed when the disease is confined to their pancreas. And 87% of the pancreatic cancer patients die within the first 5 years. There will be more than an estimated 500 million new pancreatic cancer cases diagnosed worldwide. Excuse me, a yearly increase of 3%. Pancreatic cancer is the 7th most common cause of cancer-related deaths across the world. The good health and well-being of the residents of the Township of West Orange are enhanced as a direct result of increased awareness about the symptoms and risks of pancreatic cancer and research into its early detection, causes, and effective treatments. So now therefore be it resolved that I, Mayor Susan McCartney, and on behalf of the Town Council, do hereby proclaim Pancreatic Cancer World Awareness Day here in West Orange. And I am joined today by Todd and Lee Cohen, who have brought this to our attention because of personal reasons that they're here to explain to us. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. We're not the Kelly astronauts, so don't get us confused with them. Yeah. So my brother works at West Orange High School. I work at Liberty Middle School, and at Liberty we have a day every year where we have students wear purple and raise awareness about pancreatic cancer. Our father passed away in 2002 from this terrible disease. There's a higher incidence rate in Ashkenazi Jews and also African Americans. And the problem with pancreatic cancer is that there's no real early detection method. There's no blood test. There's no easy way to detect this disease. So by the time you find out about it, it's already likely metastasized. That's why the survival rate is just 13%. When our father passed away, the survival rate was 6%. So it's doubled, but not much has changed about this insidious disease. If you know someone that is fighting pancreatic cancer, I urge you to go to pancan.org. There's a hotline. All the information is free. You can learn about clinical trials that could make a big difference in possibly surviving this disease. We also have a walk. It's called Purple Stride, New Jersey. It's every April. It's in Parsippany. Last year, we raised over $600,000 to fight pancreatic cancer. So, we're not going to stop. We might have lost our dad, but, we want to change the trajectory of this disease. This year, 52,000 people are going to die from pancreatic cancer. It's unacceptable, and more needs to be done from a congressional standpoint, from a federal government standpoint, and also, like I said, raising awareness. Contact your local congressperson and let them know that pancreatic cancer needs to be addressed. And hopefully by raising awareness through this proclamation and doing things by wearing purple every year helps raise awareness for pancreatic cancer. So like I said, if you can go to pancan.org or call the toll-free number 877-412-8735. We're also on Facebook, New Jersey-Pancreatic Cancer Action Network, and you can learn more. I just want to thank the mayor once again. I want to thank the council. I also want to thank Melanie for setting this up, and Karen in the past for setting this up as well. Really, this is such an amazing community, and it's great to know that you guys are helping raise awareness for pancreatic cancer, and we thank you for that.
You guys have been doing this for about 10 years now. Then you get it straight. We'll do the same thing next year.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cohen.
You're welcome.
So we still don't have the slightly less important person tonight for Councilwoman Williams swearing in. Just want you to know that this is a secret. When you fill a vacancy in the state of New Jersey, you can get sworn in instantly once the vote is certified. So Councilwoman Williams has been certified and has been sworn in, but she hasn't been sworn in by State Senator and former Mayor, West Orange Mayor, John McKeon. So that's what we're waiting for. and he's building suspense. So we're going to move on to the next item in our conference agenda. And as some of you may know, the West Orange Police and the administration and a couple of consultants have been talking about improving the parking and traffic flow here in West Orange. And one of those steps is to try to address the parking problems primarily in the neighborhood east of Rollinson. And as you can see, it takes several police officers to explain this to us, what they would like to do. And so I would just appreciate you giving your attention to this. This is Captain Matullo. Sorry, I didn't want to get wrong, but
I'm not related to those other two either. We just have the same.
okay.
Just have the same haircut.
Yes, Captain Kelly, the third twin. You didn't know about the third Kelly twin. Anyway, Captain Matullo, please.
Okay. So prior to my promotion to captain, I was in charge of the traffic bureau for 8.5 years. I worked out of the Valley Road substation down there. So I basically lived in the valley 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. So I'm aware of the problems. I've dealt with a lot of it. And so I'm going to present some things here that we've been looking for. Okay. So it is the opinion of the traffic bureau that in order to fix the problem somewhat would be to make the streets, those following streets up there, one way.
Can I just interrupt you for a second? Can everybody hear Captain Matullo?
Sorry.
Yeah, there you go. Thank
Is
you.
that better?
Thank you. Yes, much better.
Sorry.
Thank you.
So our suggestion to alleviate the parking problem is to make those streets up there one way. This will be the map. The streets in yellow would be converted to one ways. The streets in green are remaining the same as they are now. With the switching of the streets to one way, there will be parking allowed on both sides, with the exception of a 2-hour block on each side, one day a week for street cleaning. So we have some pros and cons. Obviously, it would increase the amount of parking. It almost doubles the amount of parking in the valley. Actually, more than doubles. Allows parking for businesses. Improves access to emergency services, drivability. Obviously, the cons would be travel time for the residents, and we'd still allow non-residents to park there. I know we had spoken about permits. Permits bring their own list of issues. Number one would be enforcement. Enforcement would be very difficult considering from where it is now. There's a few streets, I know we talk about Glen and Oak Ridge, that have permits. They have driveways, and if you go by there during the day, there's probably 6, 8, 10 cars in the street that have to be checked. And they police their own neighborhood, so you usually have to check the ones that they know are not from there. On that area right there, there's 200, on these streets that we have now that we're considering for permits, there's 273 homes. So one of the issues would be how many permits are we giving to each household? If you have a household with 3 families in it and they have 3 cars each, that's 9 cars. That takes up a lot of room on the street. So right now, on the north sides of those streets there's 192 spots for 273 houses. On the south side, there's 171 spots for 273 houses. So by allowing parking on both sides, we're pretty much more than doubling what we have now. The other issue would be the process in which permits were issued. I mean, in order to put this permit system in place, you're probably not looking at summer the earliest before it would be done. We would have to have, ordinance passed, custom signage, and then the permits would have to be issued. So the newest system we're getting streamlines the process, but all the documents would still have to be uploaded and approved by someone. And you're talking upwards of the amount of 500 permits. That also eliminates, if you live on an area, like if you live on Valley Road and you can't find parking on Valley Road, you wouldn't be able to park on any of those other streets. If you go to visit a business there, if you go to visit a friend and they don't know about this, because no matter how much we put out emails, 911s, whatever, people are gonna say, I have no idea you need a permit to park on the street. We were still dealing with that with a lot of the other issues we have here. We're suggesting we do it for 6 months and reassess. See where we're going there, because, and I know a lot of the issues are some of the issue is the Seton Hall students. I mean, they're part of the problem, but they're not the problem. Because between May and September, when school's not in session, we still get a lot of parking complaints in that area. Another issue with permits is you have people who live in that area who are undocumented, who do not have a New Jersey driver's license or a New Jersey car registered, and would not be able to prove their permits, upload their documents to provide that. This is most of the stuff I was just talking about with permits. Also, depending on how many permits are issued to each street, you may have a permit and not be able to park on your street. You may have to park on a block 1 or 2 blocks away. And then you're gonna have people who live there saying, I don't recognize this car, and we're gonna be going over there. And I think it creates a lot of undue burden. And I think the most cost-effective and quickest way we can get this done is by making the one-way streets. It's basically an ordinance and signage. Also, this is in regards to the permits also, the community policing unit, the traffic bureau, and the parking enforcement officer is who do most of the majority of the parking enforcement. And right now they're doing it by hand because they do not have computers. So they would have to actually run these plates over the radio individually to check all the cars to see if there was permits issued or not. That's the next one. So, like I said, our stance is that one-way streets is the most effective way to alleviate the parking issue.
Thank you, Captain. Is there any questions from the dais? Councilwoman Rudin?
This does not address the problem that we have with parking from Seton Hall residents. If there is no permit on the vehicle, how do you know if it's a Seton Hall student and or a resident?
Wouldn't know. So, if we do one-way streets, it would be the same way it is now. Anyone could park there.
Well, then that major issue is not being addressed.
It's part of the issue. It's not the whole issue. The major issue is the parking. There's not enough parking spaces.
Right.
So the permits is not going to alleviate the parking problem.
I'm not disagreeing
Well,
with
that's what I'm saying.
with your first
Wait,
approach.
just one at a time, Councilwoman. Let him finish. Please go ahead.
So this parking spots, the way they are now, if we issue permits, would stay the same, but only be allowed by the park on one side of the street. So that doesn't fix the problem if there's not enough actual parking spaces for the people who live there, especially in the open.
What is your solution to the amount of cars from the Seton Hall students that are parking on these streets that are taking up the spaces in a very tight area?
I understand, and it's always been like it's a public street and they're allowed to park there, just as if you drove down there to visit a friend and you parked there.
Right, but they are not permitted to park on the streets above there, and rescinding the parking above is still not addressing the problem that the residents are facing.
I understand. It's a problem we've had for 8.5 years that I've been dealing with.
Would you recommend that the Seton Hall students park in their own parking
Yeah.
lot?
Yes, the problem with that is the Seton Hall school charges them extra.
And our residents are being charged with tickets. We had one resident who came in with $1,200 worth of tickets. So there's a charge for our residents
Mhm.
versus the students.
Yes, well, when they park illegally, they get tickets, just like she was parked illegally and she got tickets.
No, I'm
That's what
saying,
They-
I'm
they-
saying
we
that,
issue them tickets when they're parked in the streets that they're not supposed to, or they're blocking the driveway or this and that. I understand, and it is a Seton Hall issue that we've addressed with Seton Hall multiple times. I just don't know the legality of them being able to force people to park in a certain area.
if we had parking permits, wouldn't that make it very clear that the students cannot park on those streets and the preference would be given to the residents?
Possibly. I don't know if that's the legality of parking permits for all the streets either. And then it would just push the problem further. Then the Seton Hall kids would move from that area to another area of town, and then we're pushing permits in those directions also. So if they don't park there in those couple streets and then they end up parking now above Rollinson and those streets, then we're gonna have to permit those streets and then they're gonna go above that to Gregory and then how much further are we gonna push permits throughout the township?
Well, we already have required permit parking above Rollinson.
Just not.
So why not just make it a policy that the students need to park in the parking lot and not on residential streets where there's already a constricted number of parking spots?
Force them to do it.
Well, we can with permit parking.
Saying they're gonna move to streets where there is no permits.
So if I could just interrupt for a second, I think Captain Matullo is referencing that it's unclear whether it is legal for us to prohibit anyone from parking on a public street that is maintained by tax dollars.
Correct.
And that indeed, we do have that process in place to the west of Rollinson, but the issue, at least that we need to consider, is that potentially, that first we need to do legal research to find out if that's legal.
Yes.
And then we need to figure out where we go from there. But it may very well be, even though we do have the permit parking there, it may or may not be legal. Obviously, we still don't know because nobody seems to have challenged it to the extent that we could determine that. So
Because
that's really what we're talking about now, and we're trying to figure out next steps.
the Glen and Oak Ridge permits were put into place, I think, in early 2000s.
Yeah.
2001, it was a little, yeah.
Okay. So Councilwoman Rudin, I just wanted to sort of step in just to clarify, but please, you have the floor.
No, I'm just not clear that many towns have permit parking. I don't believe that it can be legally challenged that a neighborhood that has tight parking spaces should be allowed to create permit parking. And we've done it in other areas in the township. And it seems like we should extend it to the area that really needs it throughout the valley and across Main Street.
Where we've done it before are very small controlled areas also. Enforcing the parking when you have cars that are nose to tail length of all those streets is going to be very, very difficult, if not almost impossible.
Yeah, this
With
is
the
not.
resources and the and the manpower we have right now.
Yes, and this is not a limited area that we're talking about now. So thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman, you were next.
Yeah, thank you. So I don't want to take up most of the conference agenda because this isn't a problem we're going to solve right this second. But have you done a deep dive in having conversations with the business owners? Because it is difficult down there, Councilwoman, because we have a lot of our small business owners in that corridor and their customers do park on the side streets during the day. So if permit parking is going to definitely impact those business owners, that's where the one-way streets helps the business owners and our residents. And I encourage everyone to come to the meeting on December 2nd here in council chambers. It's flex hours 4 to 8. Talk to our consultants and take a deeper dive and really look at it. Because I know everybody's hung up on these one-way streets, and this has been a conversation for many, many years in this area, and not so much on the other part in the Heights. But again, you do get used to if you have to, go a different way. And I know it's inconvenient to some, but it's also safer because when you drive down the streets and people are going fast, if the traffic's not crossing each other, it's safer with the one-way lane. So I think it's something everybody needs to take time. They need to consider, because I know you're trying to solve a problem for the residents, which we all are, and we've all been trying to do, but you're also causing a lot of harm to the business owners as well. And you got to find that balance. Thank you, Council
That
President.
was kind of like the reassessment.
Yeah.
If it works after like 6 months or so, that we're not having the same number of complaints about the Seton Hall students, then it works.
Yeah.
If now we could reassess then and decide another course of action.
Councilwoman.
Yeah, we've been kind of talking about this for a month. I don't understand why we don't have a legal opinion on whether there's permit, but there's permit parking so many places in so many municipalities. Can we get a legal opinion on whether it's viable?
Yes, I had a question. Are the permits where we have them in town, are they effective 24 hours? In other words,
No,
Okay, so that kind of tells you, like, it's during the day, you're not going to really get a benefit out of it. So the students parking on the street during the day, permits are not going to impact that.
Yes, they would be only during the day, the permits.
Right, right. So I'm saying, if it's residents only, those are just night hours, right? 8 to 6 or something like that, or it's all day?
No, if we did the permits, it would be during the day. We need a permit to park during the day.
Okay, that was my question. Then, yeah, I would definitely look more into that. I don't see any reason. I mean, I've heard of permit parking in other locations. I just, based on what the captain's saying, I'm not sure it's practical, but we can certainly look into it and make a legal
Thank you.
determination.
Yeah, I'd like an opinion.
Sure.
Thank you, Councilwoman. I wanted to ask about this trial period in terms of what would be the metrics, if you've gotten that far, of what you would look to see as to whether that might be successful or how successful that it might be.
I haven't really gotten that far, but I think it would be by the number of complaints that we receive, how many complaints we receive in that time period and how well it works as far as with the street cleaning and with resident response to it.
Okay. All righty. I think that's Mr. Smarldo.
Thank you. So just real quick, I want to reiterate what Councilwoman Castellino said. So we have put together a second study, so all the residents know, those are in attendance here tonight and those were on TV. So next Tuesday, the second, we are having an open house meeting. Our professionals will be here, the engineers will be here, the traffic engineers, our engineer will be here to answer all questions. It is an open forum, so you can come and speak about whatever you want from any time from 4 to 8, because we want to make sure that our businesses and our residents are heard. So that's the first thing. And the second thing, if you could briefly describe, just tell us about, one of the questions we've had in the past was about 46 Mount Pleasant Ave and the speeding. So, and our police department has done a very good job on addressing that issue since our last meeting. So I'd like the captain to just briefly speak about that.
You're good. Okay. So this is the report here from Mount Pleasant Avenue eastbound. In 3 days, there was 27,068 cars, average of 6,700 vehicles a day. So we moved into 3, yeah. The average speed was 34.9. The 85th percentile was 40. So the speed limit there was 35 down here between 280. Is it 40? Or sorry. 40 between 280 and Pleasant Valley Way. So
to Main Street, right?
to Main Street to 280.
Yeah, 280.
It's 40.
It's 40
So
miles an hour.
the numbers fall right in line with where they should be. Because the 85th percentile is usually a plus or minus 5 miles an hour, right? See? 85th. So, yes.
So can you lower the speed limit? Talk to the county about lowering the speed limit if the
If-
speed.
If you think, yeah. We did conduct 5 radar details there. We did issue 2 summonses. It's the last meeting. It's the last. It's the last.
In the past 2 weeks. All this data was the last 2 weeks. The radar details were set up 5 days out of the 11 days or 10 days. So basically every other day since the last meeting, our officers have been out there. They're addressing the concerns and this is the raw
Yeah.
data they have, and it's here for your review.
Do you have any previous data that would indicate a change in the speed limit over time?
I don't think we've ever done anything there.
Yeah.
Councilwoman.
But just point, thank you, Council President. So yeah, 40 miles an hour seems a little fast for an incline coming to a stop sign. And then plus we have the pedestrian or in front of our driveway
Yep.
where you have to watch. So if they're coming speeding down, if we could lower that at all,
we
if
could
the
talk to the
county will let
county,
us
right?
lower it. Mr. Puglisi
Yeah,
here.
we talked to the county
Yeah.
with it and
Yeah, if we can lower it.
Yeah.
I think that's going to help the situation because they are following the speed
Yeah.
limit, but the speed limit's a little higher.
absolutely.
That's all. Thank you, Council President.
Councilwoman.
We have an ordinance currently on the books preventing commercial vehicles from parking on the residential streets. And I know that is a real problem
Okay.
in the downtown area. How is your department monitoring that? And have you found that this is a problem?
Yeah, it's been a problem
Yeah.
ongoing for many, many years. So they're between 9 p.m. and 7 a.m. They are not allowed to park there unless they have work going on. So usually it's the midnight shift that handles that, and they do issue a good amount of tickets on it. So they just keep, when we get complaints, we address them in those areas. We just keep moving them around.
What about commercial vehicles that are on the street during the day and not moving?
They're allowed to park them. They can't park between 9 p.m. and 7 a.m.
Okay.
unless they're there for more than 48 hours, and they would be abandoned, we've been told.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Captain Matullo. I was going to say, I'm sure most of the people here were here because of you and your presentation,
Absolutely.
and I'm just amazed. But State Senator and former Mayor McKeon has arrived, and so we need to get to the main event. And without further ado.
My family come up, please. Ali, Samir, John, are they somewhere?
Senator Holders there with the oath.
Oh, God, I was coming to say hello to them. I can go where I'm told.
The folder.
Tammy, I'm surprised there's anyone in your family who is shy and is not up here already. What's up with that? Oh, okay, okay.
I have really no idea.
I'm happy to be your fan.
Yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
Senator, I know you haven't given too many of these oaths of office, so if you want to review the verbiage
Thank you, Council.
and only taken it a couple of times in your career.
And if I can indulge, Council President,
Please.
please, happy Thanksgiving to all of you personally and your families and to our whole community. It always makes me feel so warm and happy when I'm in Town Hall in West Orange. Brings back a lot of great feelings. Thank you for all for your service.
Thank you.
Is there a difference between great feelings and great memories?
Yeah, whatever the.
I would say you have great memories.
Here's the great news for you guys, the vicissitudes you forget about, it's the all the good things that you'll remember. So,
Yeah.
Family.
Where is everybody?
Pastor Adams. Come. They got kicked out of the room. So this is Pastor Adams, for those of you all who do not know, close and dear friend and confidant. And this is Carlina Lloyd, my business consultant, friend, partner, for over 20 years. So we're going to have them stand in as members of my family. Denise here? Get up here for me, please. Thank you. This is my sorority sister.
my next door neighbor. You're in trouble now.
She doesn't tell people that.
All right, so Pastor, you'll hold the Bible and if great friends and surrogate family can get closer. Are you in good shape to take a picture? Ms. Williams, if you raise your right hand and please, I'm kind of big mouth, I'll go, and repeat after me.
Very loudly, please.
I will. I, Tammy Williams,
I, Tammy Williams,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
I promise I will bear true faith
I promise I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly
that
swear
I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all of the duties
all the duties
of the office of councilwoman
of the office of
to the
councilwoman
best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. What an honor it was to swear you in. Sign the other one.
Oh, please.
Oh, gosh. Oh, for I know the plans I have for you. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Tonight feels like part of that promise unfolding. I am grateful for every person in the room and those on Zoom, and for the countless hands and hearts that helped carry me to this moment. Thank you all so much. Standing here tonight after being officially sworn in once the election results were certified last Tuesday fills me with gratitude, humility, and a renewed purpose. Thank you, Senator McKeon, for taking the time to support me in this endeavor. As our former mayor, assemblyman, and state senator, you always show up for West Orange. This community has entrusted me once again to serve, and I do not take that responsibility lightly. I show up not as someone claiming perfection, but as someone whose intentions are sincere and whose commitment remains steady. I am here because I believe in what we can accomplish when we move with purpose, when we lead with integrity, and when we choose each other, even in challenging moments. Over these last months, we have been tested, stretched, and strengthened as a town. And all of you have reminded me that when people believe in a shared agenda, when we roll up our sleeves, when we trust in the power of community, we can move mountains. To my team, your determination, strategy, and heart fueled this campaign. To the residents who showed up, voted, asked hard questions, and demanded better from all of us, I thank you. You make this work meaningful. And to my family and friends who stood by me through the long days, the longer nights, and everything in between, I am grateful beyond words. I also want to take a moment to speak directly to my colleagues. We may not always agree, but we share one responsibility that rises above our differences. Each of us represents each resident of West Orange. Every voice, every neighborhood, every family. And our town is best served when we work together, communicate honestly, and lead with the understanding that collaboration is not optional, it's essential. I promise to lead with transparency, compassion, and integrity, to listen before I act, to uplift voices that often go unheard, to protect the values that we share and hold dear, and to help West Orange reset and reimagine a future worthy of every person who calls this township home. Tonight, it's not about me. It's about us recommitting to the promise of community. I'm honored to serve you. I'm ready to keep working. And I'm excited for where West Orange is going. Thank you, West Orange. Let's move forward together. Thank you.
So thank you, Councilwoman, and welcome.
Thank you. Welcome.
Well said, well said. Okay, that officially ends our conference agenda. And it's now time for me to ignore Madam Clerk.
Open comment will come.
Yes, yes. We do not allow comments from the audience. Please just state your case very quickly so we can move on.
2 minutes and then you can come up. He'll call for. open
Yeah,
public comment.
yeah, public comment, you can come up and do that. You'll have 5 minutes. You won't even need to use 2. So please.
Just hold tight first.
Yes. So thank you. Madam Clerk.
Yes.
This is to inform the general public that this meeting is being held in compliance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975. The annual notice was emailed to the Star Ledger and filed in the Township Clerk's office on January 7, 2025, and published in the West Orange Chronicle on January 16, 2025. Councilwoman Castellino?
Present.
Councilwoman Rudin? Here. Councilwoman Scarpa?
Present.
Councilwoman Williams?
Present.
Council President Krokoviac?
Present.
Mayor McCartney. Will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The council is now in their public meeting.
So this is the spot in our public agenda where I first ignore Madam Clerk and then I ignore Mr. Fagan, but I'm not going to do that tonight. Mr. Fagan, please take it away.
Thank you very much, Council President. Before I start tonight, I just want to point out one thing. As you may know, we have this TV screen here, and that's for closed captioning to solve a problem in council chambers here. It solved one problem, but it kind of created another. And behind that, hidden from view, is a beautiful portrait of former President Barack Obama. And that portrait was done by West Orange resident Michael Roach. And he's here in the audience tonight. And I want to acknowledge Michael. And hopefully soon we will have the sound system squared away. And once again, we'll be able to see his beautiful work of art. I'd like to extend congratulations to the West Orange boys soccer team for winning the League 4 soccer championship. They worked very hard, and I think I read someplace the score in the final was 5-0. Congratulations to them. The deadline for the grace period has been extended to December 22nd, 2025, or I should say, yes, extended to December 22nd. I'm not going to complicate this matter. This information is on our website. I know there's been a lot of confusion and frustration over this, but you can look on our website and hopefully it will clear it up for you. As Mr. Smeraldo mentioned, or someone mentioned before, on December 2nd in council chambers here, there is the parking study question and answer. And it should be pointed out, and I believe Councilwoman Castellino pointed it out, that it doesn't start at a specific time. It's run from 4 to 8, but you can come in and you can interact anytime with the officials here, ask any questions during that time period. So if you can't get here precisely at 4, but can come in through those hours, hopefully you can get your questions answered. Thursday, December 4th, Mayor McCartney's open office hours. No appointment is necessary. I don't see Mr. Puglisi here, so I'm going to mention about the holiday lights. This is always a very popular event here in West Orange at Turtleback Zoo. And this is on our website, so you can check the times and the dates. But the kids and adults love this. As mentioned at the top of the meeting, West Orange municipal offices are closed on Thursday and Friday. There's no garbage recycling on Thursday, no jitney service Thursday and Friday. Regular garbage recycling schedule on Friday. And if I confused you, this information is on our website. You can check it out further. And certainly on behalf of the town council, Mayor McCartney and the town council, I'd like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. The food drive, the townwide food drive, which has been taking place at West Orange Fire Department headquarters, is still ongoing. It has been very successful. And just in council chambers earlier this week, a donation was made by the AFSCME Union to Tony's Kitchen in Montclair. And this is basically as a result of the community food drive set up at West Orange Fire headquarters. And this coincided with the thank you note that was received by Mayor McCartney. And it's also worth pointing out that special note and thanks to the township's CERT team, Community Emergency Response Team volunteers. They have been delivering food to homebound residents since the onset of COVID, which is now a few years behind us. On December 17th, there will be a mobile mammogram screening at the Ginny Dunkel Pool on December 17th, 9 to 2 p.m. This information is on our website. As was mentioned during pancreatic cancer, early detection with this, and I dare to say any cancer, is important. So please check out the information on our website, and don't think that it can't happen to you. So please sign up and do your proper screenings. We are looking, West Orange Police Department is looking for school crossing guards. For more information, you can call 973-325-4050. This information just came in late today. It's not currently on our website, but it will be. But keep that in mind. You can contact the Kate Davenport, and she can help you. But as I say, this information will be on our website, but put it on your radar, so to speak, that we are hiring school crossing guards. There is the annual township menorah lighting is coming up December 15th from 3:45 to 4:45, and it happens right here each year at Town Hall 66 Main Street. Also on the website, there's weekly updates for the Jitney schedule. Each week, it seems, presents some challenges, so please check this on our website for all the latest updates. And a holiday open house Saturday, December 6th. It's basically an all-day event from 9 to 3 p.m. It starts with the character breakfast at Washington School Cafeteria, and it ends with the Christmas tree lighting here in front of Town Hall. This information is on the Downtown West Orange Alliance website. Facebook page will be on West Orange as well. So it's that time of year. The Christmas season, Hanukkah season is menorah season, lighting season is upon us. I'm sure I misstated something there, but you get my point. So please check this out and put it on your calendar. Also, I mentioned this at last meeting, Essex County 2026 one-year action plan applications. The application deadline is December 29th, but this information is on our website. And I want to give a quick shout out to West Orange Arts Council. They are seeking volunteers. They are an important part of our community. And you can find out info at woarts.org if you have the time and are willing to volunteer for a worthy cause. As was mentioned, this is Movember. It's coming to a close, and it's basically focusing on men's health. And finally, I found this on Facebook, and I thought that this was definitely worth mentioning. The Kiwanis Club, which helps kids, they're looking to start a chapter here in West Orange. They are a national organization, a state organization, and they're having an organizational meeting on Thursday, December 4th at the West Orange Public Library, 6:30 p.m. So if you want to find out more information, please come check that out. As I say, it's akin to Rotary International and Lions clubs. They do very good work, and they certainly could use your support, and they would make a great difference here in the community. As I mentioned, Mr. Puglisi is not here this evening, but you can contact him at this email address and this phone number if you have any questions about anything from the county. Thank you, Council President. Thank you for indulging me. And this concludes my report for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fagan. In preparation for public comment, which is on the agenda to start now, I want to confirm that we are all on the same page on how public comment is regulated as per our ordinance. We're going to try a slightly different process for public comment tonight. Instead of me fumbling around with trying to pick speakers, we're going to let you self-select by coming to the front row of benches here in the middle, down the aisle, and waiting in line to be recognized by the chair. Once you're recognized by the chair, you come to the podium on my right and speak for up to 5 minutes. Please be concise to speed up the process, and do not feel obligated to use the entire 5 minutes. If what you can say can be done in 2 minutes, please do so. We tend to have very lengthy meetings, so any efficiencies would be greatly appreciated. Please, everyone, speak directly into the microphone and as loudly as you feel comfortable. After everyone has commented, we on the dais may respond. Our ordinance for public comment requires the speaker to first state their name and address. Our ordinance requires conduct by public comment speakers who, quote, shall at no time engage in any personally offensive or abusive remarks. The chair may or shall call any speaker to order who violates any provision of this rule, end quote. Any person who shall disturb the peace of the Township Council, make offensive or abusive remarks, or conduct himself or herself in a boisterous manner while addressing the council shall be forthwith barred by the presiding officer from further audience before the council, except that if the speaker shall submit to proper order under these rules, permission for him or her to continue may be granted by a majority vote of the council. Town council is a place to discuss our differences and often to find compromise to make West Orange an even better place to live. So I urge all of us to treat everyone here as they would like to be treated. You can make your point without cursing or insulting anyone. And I and my police backup will enforce our audience. So please come forward. First speaker, thank you for your patience.
Thank you, and good evening to you. My name is Adrienne Harrison Surgeon. I'm a doctor of education, and I represent the New Jersey Alternative Education Association.
Pardon me for interrupting you. Just, you've given your name, that's great, but that's only half. If you could give an address, that would be great, just for our minutes. Thank you.
Our address is 748 Irving Terrace, Orange, New Jersey. Okay. So I'm here to offer commendations of excellence presented to Councilwoman Tammy Williams in recognition of your outstanding leadership, dedicated community service, and your successful return to the West Orange City Council through the 2025 special election. With deep appreciation for her unwavering advocacy in suicide prevention through the West Orange Stop Suicide Advocacy Coalition Foundation. Your commitment to service, equity, and the well-being of our communities exemplify the highest ideals of public leadership. This commendation is presented on Monday, November 24th, 2025, on behalf of the New Jersey Alternative Education Association. Congratulations.
Thank you. Councilwoman, please. Thank you. Please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rhea Randolph, from 11 Tenney Road, West Orange, New Jersey.
11 what? I'm sorry.
Tenney.
Thank you.
I have the honor of serving as Teen Legislative Chair for the Essex Hudson chapter of Jack and Jill of America Incorporated, and I'm also a proud West Orange resident. On behalf of our chapter, it is truly a privilege to stand here tonight as we celebrate this moment and join together for the swearing in of Councilwoman Tammy Williams. Representation matters deeply. As teens, we are constantly looking for examples of leadership, integrity, and community commitment. Councilwoman Williams has been exactly that for us. She shows up for our chapter, she supports our initiatives, and she always makes space for young people to be seen, heard, and valued. Watching her advocate for our community and watching her lead with strength and purpose gives us something real to aspire to. She reminds us that public service isn't just about holding a title. It's about uplifting people, building opportunity, and creating a pathway for the next generation. Councilwoman Williams, thank you for being a role model we can look up to. Thank you for showing us what is possible. And thank you for proving that when we move forward together, we will all rise. So congratulations, and we're proud to stand here with you tonight. Thank you.
Please.
Hi, Moshe Glick. I live in the Pleasantdale section. I prefer not to give my home address. I've been the subject of threats in the past, so I'm a West Orange resident. So first of all, Councilwoman, congratulations on your election win. I'm here to discuss the agenda item. I got here a little bit late. The agenda item about Matthew Fiola's contract. I'm not sure if it was on the agenda, and I saw it on the website. So specifically about that. Good evening, council members. Most of you know who I am. My name is Dr. Moshe Glick. I'm a resident of West Orange and an active member of our local Jewish community. I'm speaking tonight specifically about police officer Matthew Fiola's contract. You all know this since you've been copied. He's the subject of a serious police misconduct allegations. That complaint was filed on October 22nd of this year regarding his handling of the violent and unpermitted protest at Congregation Or Torah on November 13th, 2024. As you also know, the U.S. Department of Justice recent FACE Act civil complaint underscoring the severity of this incident. They have not ruled out criminal charges as well. And I urge the council to table or reject this contract renewal until a full, transparent investigation resolves these allegations. Prioritizing accountability over expediency is essential to rebuilding the trust in our police department. The mayor, as many of you are aware, put out a statement, and I want to make sure that things are very clear. The Jewish community, I'm not authorized to speak on behalf of the Jewish community. I'm very involved, as you know, with the Jewish community. She put out a statement somehow that the Jewish community is not supporting the police department. That is 100% not true. The Jewish community's strong support for the West Orange Police Department, but bad actors tarnish all of us. Our Jewish community stands firmly behind the West Orange Police Department, grateful for their ongoing partnership that enhances our safety. We've expressed this through thank you campaigns, collaborative events, recognizing the dedication of the vast majority of officers who protect us among historic rising anti-Semitism. Yet unchecked bad actors like Mr. Fiola, there are 5 additional officers that have internal affairs complaints. West Orange is currently in violation. The West Orange Police Department has not investigated these complaints. They are in violation of the Attorney General's manual from 2022, which these are supposed to have been completed within 45 days. Some of these complaints are bordering on 180 days. My attorneys, as well as myself, have reached out for Mr. Trank, as well as Mr. Samarera. We've had no response thus far, and this matter is going to continue to escalate. I just wanted to make sure, I know the council is aware of it. I just wanted to make sure that this gets on public record. But what part of my reason for being here tonight is really that statement that came out is absolutely false. The Jewish community supports the West Orange Police Department, but if we allow bad actors to go unchecked, it tarnishes the reputation of the police department, makes us unsafe. I'm sure you guys saw the events that happened in Livingston, our township next door. They handled their event. There was a very similar type of event. The Livingston Police Department acted appropriately. They separated the anti-Israel agitators from the Jews looking to attend an event at a synagogue. 6 of the anti-Israel agitators were arrested. And if you contrast that with what happened in West Orange, there's tons of publicly available video. I've sent it to most of you guys. You guys have all seen this. So I think it's a real slap in the face to our community to actually push through a contract for Deputy Fiola when he's under serious internal affairs investigations. We have attempted to meet with West Orange Internal Affairs. We have been stonewalled multiple times, and it's unfortunate. I love West Orange. I'm a long-term resident of West Orange. I've personally participated in a number of police thank you events. They know who I am, and for us to be treated in this manner, but to add insult to injury, to somehow make a statement that we don't support the police is disingenuous. It's, I can't think of a better word than disgusting. I just wanted to state my outrage. I hope the new township attorney, I'm not sure, are you the new township attorney?
I'm the assistant.
Okay, I hope I've reached out to him several times. I've reached out to Mr. Trank. We have quoted the laws for him. It's clear as day. So I implore the council not to move forward on that contract. I implore the council to push the West Orange Police Department to do what they're supposed to do before this thing gets elevated on the state level as well as on the federal level. I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Dr. Glick. Please.
Joy Burnett, Pilat Place. And I am back again. I checked my emails and I started this fight, this concern in 2009, and it is now 2025. It is amazing how much energy has arisen against us being treated as the rest of the neighborhood has been treated. Suddenly, now we got the police and the police are against us having permits because it's too hard to enforce. Well, apparently they enforce things very well because I have $1,100 in tickets in the last year to prove that they seem to be doing quite well with enforcing, not against Seton Hall, but against the residents who are already paying taxes. I now pay a parking tax to park in my own neighborhood. I just want to be clear, and I need to say this because, Michelle, every time I'm here, you have another reason.
Excuse
We
me
need,
for interrupting, Ms. Burnett.
yes.
Our ordinance requires that you direct your comments to the chair and not to any individual.
Okay.
Please.
Every time
Thank
I'm
you.
here, Ms. Castellino makes statements that for reasons why we should not, that we need one-way streets. I would like people to stop telling us what we need in our own neighborhood because we are here every day and I know what I need. I do not have, I want to be clear, do not have any problems parking in my neighborhood in the summer months. Okay, so the parking issue is when Seton Hall is present. I don't need 20 parking spots on my street because in the last meeting it was stated, well, you'll see when you see the presentation that you'll get more spots on your street. The condescending tone is not, it's insulting. It's insulting the way that we are spoken to as if we are not adults. We are adults, tax-paying citizens. I am a master's degree holder. I can read the parking study and I can see that we are allowed more spots. I don't need more spots when Seton Hall is not there. I do not need more spots. What I need is to have my neighborhood be treated just as the people above us. And let me just also state, it is not just getting rid of parking permits on Oak Ridge and Glen. The entire neighborhood from up the street from Rawlington all the way to Gregory has been shut down for parking for Seton Hall students. Please let me share with you that they are not all permit parked, but Oak Ridge and Glen Avenue have permit parking. Mitchell from Gregory down to Oak Ridge has a sign that reads as follows. It's quite interesting. No parking from 8 to 10, September 1st to June 15th, excluding holidays. And then it says, but zone 7 permits are accepted on a street that doesn't even have permit parking. Then on Hillside has the same sign that says no parking, but zone 7 permits are accepted on Hillside as well, but they don't have permit parking. Hillside, then we go to Brook Drive, Colony Drive East, Colony Drive West, and Elliott all have signs that say no parking from 8 to 10 on school days, which means that Seton Hall cannot park from Rollinson, from Glen all the way up to Gregory. So removing permits on Oak Ridge and Glen will not help us, because then they still are not allowed to park all over the entire neighborhood. That neighborhood is shut down, where they have shut down over 10 blocks. And then the kids are forced to park on 5 or 6. So giving us one-way streets, we don't want them. I don't want to have to, it is such an inconvenience already to have to go down to the end of Valley, where Valley then turns into a one-way street, and you already have traffic patterns that are a problem. Those one-way streets, my understanding, that one-way street was done without the consultation of residents. Please stop telling us what we need. All of this stonewalling reminds me of stories that my parents and my grandparents told me as they grew up in the South when they tried to go vote, that it would be, no, you can't vote. You got to do this questionnaire. Oh, well, you passed the questionnaire. Now you got to do this. Mr. Blanton is coming up, who was a Black history teacher at my high school. He might be able to tell you a little bit more about what happens. There are some parallels here that are shameful. It is shameful that in 2025, this town is trying to prevent people of a lower socioeconomic class from having the same rights and privileges as the people who have a higher tax bracket than they do. People that are predominantly Black and brown in my neighborhood are being told we can't have what everyone else has. And this is shameful. You ought to give us the permits, and you ought to back off on these one-way streets, because we don't want them. Stop telling us, but he used some of my time. Stop telling us what we can and what we can't have.
Yeah, okay.
That is not okay.
Ms. Burnett.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Burnett, would you do us, the council a favor and send those pictures that you were citing, if you actually had pictures?
You mean the pictures of the signs? We
Yes.
actually wrote them down, but I can go take you pictures.
Okay, I don't want you to go out of your way, but that's very helpful. Okay. Okay.
Take some pictures when the sun is out. Down all those streets. I can certainly take you pictures.
Thank you.
Would you like pictures or video?
And also, Meg, can you list all of the streets that have permit parking or permit parking signs? Yes, the ones that you just mentioned.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Blanton, please.
Good evening, everyone. John Blanton, Forest Hill Road. First, I just want to say, Councilwoman Tammy Williams, welcome back. And speaking on behalf of my family, they told me to ask you to govern in a manner and set the example that you would like to see in others and lead. And so that's what we're looking forward to you doing, to lead. And welcome back again. And we're looking forward to working with you as one of our council members. Blessings to you.
Thank you.
I want to start this evening by saying each time we come in these council chambers for a formal meeting, we're asked to stand and salute the flag. And near the end, we say, Lord have mercy, help me. One nation under God. One nation under God. One nation under God. And I want to say to each one of you this evening, Councilwoman Williams read from a most popular book that's read in the world, and she read a little something from it, Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth. And she read a little passage tonight from that book. Thank you, my man Isaiah. And I want to read something to all of you this evening. And it's what we all should be exemplifying in this community, especially our council as an example, and the rest of you in the administration as well.
If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all my possessions to the poor and give over my body to hardship, that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It's not self-seeking. It's not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always preserves. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when completeness comes, part will disappear. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. But when I became an adult, I put those childish things behind me. For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, that I shall know fully, even am I am fully known. And now these three things remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these things, as the man named Jesus said, is love. Love your neighbor as yourself. That's the greatest commandment. God bless you all. Have a lovely Thanksgiving, and I hope you're spending time with people you enjoy being with. Eat a lot, but we expect you back here at the next council meeting. Blessings.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
My name is Stephen Johnston, and I live at 49 Sheridan Avenue. I'm here to talk about my work with the West Orange Human Relations Commission as an appointed commissioner. As of the November election of Councilmember Williams, I'm stepping down from my position and not seeking reappointment. For context, according to the 2020 U.S. Census, just under 13% of the United States is African American. Just over 13% of New Jersey is African American. However, the West Orange population is 26.3% African American, double the representation in this town compared to New Jersey and the country. Our neighbors have percentages that are much higher, over 70%. Despite this, the West Orange police force is only 10% African American with no African American leadership, a decrease from prior years. Just 10% of the police force is female. There's no listed non-binary or LGBTQ police officers, despite the good work of Officer Karen Mango. In February 2022, the West Orange Police Force issued a report called, quote, Bias-Based Policing Annual Analysis, end quote, which has not been updated in 3 years. 36% of motor vehicle stops were of African Americans in West Orange. White motor vehicle stops were 33%. 4 field interviews took place, with 3 for African Americans and 1 for Hispanic individual. No white individuals were subject to a field interview. A whopping 65% of all arrests, 65% of all arrests in West Orange were of African Americans. On page 11 of the 2022 report, the author asserts that the most amount of crime in West Orange occurs in the most racially diverse part of the township. As Councilmember Williams knows, in response to the George Floyd murder, Police Chief James Abbott agreed to work with the HRC. This can be found in the prior HRC annual reports she authored. When I brought these issues to the HRC and Police Chief James Abbott in January 2025, he responded with the following email in part, quote, I am writing to you in regard to Commissioner Johnston's accusations and demands for the HRC to self-declare that they are going to analyze, scrutinize, and make recommendations for improvements within the West Orange PD is inconsistent with your mission and, more importantly, runs afoul of the law. Any such attempt to do so will be immediately forwarded to the Essex County Prosecutor's Office and the New Jersey State Bar. I've instructed my staff not to deal with Commissioner Johnston or any individual commissioners. If the HRC has any topics of discussion for the WOPD, they need to come directly from you as the chair to me as the chief. I will not be responding to any retort to this missive from any commissioner, including Commissioner Johnston, other than you, end quote. Not only is this not true, a gross misconduct, it violates the Police Code of Conduct. I have filed a complaint with the Essex County Prosecutor's Office, which is ongoing. The township conducted an investigation through an outside attorney, Ellen O'Connell, who submitted a report. She told me at the time of my statement that that report would be provided to me when it was submitted. It was not. I've requested the report from the mayor. It has not been provided, and she's not responded to my email. I've submitted an OPRA request, and that has not been responded to as of yet. This council, before giving Police Chief Abbott $800,000, before approving any leadership for this police department, should create a civilian oversight committee to review the police. This council should review the police. This is blatant racist misconduct by Police Chief James Abbott. The statistics show that there is racist conduct within our police. That's not to even address the comptroller's reports about honor card violations in the police in the state and the town spending money on street cop training, which promoted violence and illegal tactics by the police. This town spent money on that, according to the New Jersey comptroller. The West Orange Human Relations Commission needs help from the attorney of the town to go over OPRA, the Public Records Act, Robert's Rules of Order, and the bylaws held by this council, approved by this council. Those things aren't being followed. If you don't act, the township will fail to address growing fear, tension, and pain in the community. I ask that you address the police chief's vile misconduct. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnston.
Good evening, Deborah Mapson, West Orange. So first, congratulations and welcome to the new town attorneys. I've never had a chance to do that. And Smallville knows I absolutely love him. I wanted to stay back to congratulate Councilwoman Tammy Williams on her reelection, right? And admittedly, or I need to admit this, when she first sat on the council, I was not a supporter. I was listening to the noise in the chatter, and you did two things that had gotten my attention, right? So I decided to quiet the noise in my head and all the chatter and watch you. And the first thing I thought is, wow, I've been missing out. And I've been supporting you ever since. And I don't take a minute of it back. Enjoyed working your campaign. I am a stout supporter, looking forward to you continuing to do great things. I encourage you, listen, the haters are going to come, right? The naysayers are going to come, right? But you stand steadfast and do what you do, and you will prevail every single time. I've supported Castellino, who I love. I've supported Scarper, who I love, and my council president, who I love, okay? So you hang tight, and we are here for you. Council President, I'd like to address something through your chair that I've been paying attention to. Council colleagues need to be respectful of one another. If there are any issues, or something that they don't agree with as a body, that should be discussed in closed session. However you choose to discuss it, but it should not be discussed out here on taxpayers' time. Okay? I've been paying attention to some attacks on Council President Tammy Williams, right? And I'm not going to stand for it. And there's a whole lot of us that are not going to stand for it if it continues. So I'm requesting through your chair, Council President, that you please have conversations with your council colleagues, all right? She's sitting up here to do the work of the people in West Orange. She's not sitting up here to be attacked by any one council member. Okay, so I would appreciate it if you could do that. Listen, good evening to you all. Happy Thanksgiving to you. And again, congratulations. We're here. We got you. God bless everyone.
Please.
Mr. Council President, if I could just interrupt for 1 second.
Yes, please.
Compliments are equally as discouraged as criticism in this setting.
And just to follow up on that, again, we're trying to do the town's business. So as much as we can keep on point, and I would greatly appreciate it. So please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Danielle Thomas. On behalf of the NAACP Oranges and Maplewood Branch, PO Box 1127, East Orange, New Jersey 07019. I stand to offer my congratulations to Councilwoman Williams, who has acted as prior to her campaign, acted as our housing chair for our branch. And I just want to congratulate her. We are proud of you. And I stand here again as the president. So it sounds like we have some work to do with the NAACP. So I would like to.
Excuse me, just a second. I want to apologize for interrupting you. I just want to make it clear that we do not allow, and our ordinance does not allow people calling out from the audience. Again, if you want to speak or if you want to clap, I'm happy for you to do that. Just please go outside. When you do that in here, it's disrespectful to the speaker and to everyone else here who is here to hear the town's business. I apologize. Please reset the clock because
no problem.
I ate up a lot.
It won't be much longer.
I'm sorry.
Just, it's always nice to come in person to these meetings and to hear directly from residents. So again, my name is Danielle Thomas. I'm with the NAACP Oranges and Maplewood. I hope that if you are not a member, you would look us up and become one. We don't solicit, we don't run to fights, but we are always here if you need some support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Doug Adams, 9 Westover Terrace. You'll have to give me some heads up when there is some official thing that's coming my way. I'm not a tie sport jacket standing in front of folk with the Bible swearing in person on a regular basis. For all those that saw that. There's a couple things I wanted to come out to do tonight. One, I wanted to represent the West Orange Mountaineers. We have in our community celebrated several championships. The soccer team won the state championship. The boys football team took second in the sectional championship game, and our band and cheerleading team, they just all doing a wonderful job. And so just like to celebrate the kids and the school and the program for all that they're doing. And since I was here, many of you don't know, but this is game week. And from around the country and around the world, we all understand the greatest rivalry in the history of the sport, the University of Michigan Wolverines. And for any Buckeye fans, it's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. It's the holiday, and so we want to be thankful. I want to really thank everybody for their service. I want to thank. I'm going to talk to the council president so I don't get in trouble. I want to, council president. I want to thank the new council person, Councilwoman Williams, for having the diligence and the tenacity to run after the previous election and Everybody's been quoting ancient texts, so I'll just say the race isn't given to the swift, neither to the strong, but they that endure to the end. And so I appreciate that. I appreciate you, Council President, for standing on business with your colleagues and their discomfort and to some degree disdain for Councilwoman Williams' return to the dais. And I think that it's important for in a community where all of our council people run at large, they are really supposed to be representing the whole community. But I understand that the things that are supposed to be aren't always the things that are. And so there's a large section of the West Orange community. The young man actually gave numbers, he gave statistics. But there's a large portion of the West Orange community that represents a wide range of diversity that is actually happy and celebrating the fact that she's on the council because she got elected just like everybody else on the council. And so just understand, in a small town, nothing is as secret as we think it is. And so all of those backdoor conversations and maneuvering and shifting and all that stuff, it just comes out. So just be mindful that everybody is connected to somebody, right? Everybody has mom, dad, kids, sister, brothers. Everybody has friends. And when it comes to politics, everybody has supporters. And so I just would want to encourage you to be mindful of that. I also would like to just say that I was very disappointed that, and Council President, you know me in this way, I'm pretty much 100 about whatever I'm 100 about. I'm where I'm at. And I do believe that you give people the benefit of the doubt. And you also give people the opportunity to show themselves as good people, even when they may be on the other side of a particular issue. And so I was a little bit disappointed when I saw that one of the council persons that was strongly against snow blowers and leaves and all of that kind of stuff, having landscapers work in their yard with gas-powered snow blowers. That was a little bit disappointing for me. And I just want to finish with this because I do think that integrity has to do with a person's pursuit to be right or to understand truth. And so one of your council colleagues, Councilwoman Scarpa, Council President, in the last meeting indicated that I had some of my facts incorrect. And so I would simply ask, since you put that on the record, if you would please indicate to me, email, or put it on the record what facts I had wrong, because I would love to be able to correct them, because I would not want to share anything that someone would consider to be false. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor. Please.
But hi, everyone. Leslie, West Sussex Highlands. I'm very much new to the neighborhood, Union County, now coming into Essex County. So I did receive a letter in the mail of I believe a 250 apartment building that would be proposed in my backyard. So apologies for my appearance. I did have come out of work to be here. I wasn't able to come into the last meeting. I just want to voice my opinion that I do not want this in my backyard. For multiple reasons. Flooding. So the Highlands is on a slope, and with this new development, destroying the forestry that we have there, we depend on that to really, it obviously absorbs a lot of the storm water. B, the water quality. If we destroy those trees, we destroy that forest, runoff, carrying pollutants, sediments, microplastics into the drinking supply. Third, the wildlife. B, next pollution, and finally traffic. I work 12-hour shifts. Obviously, right now I don't have much of a problem getting in and out of development, but with an additional 250 plus individuals coming in and out, there's no traffic light there. It would just end up being a nightmare. I just moved into the neighborhood. I don't want to have to move again. I'm pretty sure we all understand the pains of having to move. So thank you for your time.
Can you just state your name again?
Leslie
Your last name?
Romero.
Thank you.
Right, thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, Lawrence Cohen, 20 Lincoln Avenue. I'd like to speak tonight on behalf of some residents that they don't pay any property tax, and they don't really take any they don't use any benefits from the town services, but they are being their constitutional rights are being affected. It's in Degnan Pond and it's in Crystal Lake. These are Canadian geese, and they are residents. I don't think they might have come from Canada, so they're aliens, but now they're residents. They stay here. Canadian goose population has gone down over the past 3 years in the Northeast, and town of West Orange has been trying to control the population by various methods. One was severe a couple of years back, maybe 3 or 4, which was killing them, gassing them. The next method they've continued to do is addle the eggs, which means put some sort of substance on the eggs, go locate the eggs, and the eggs don't hatch, and then they won't have babies, and that's controlling the population. We only have a problem of homesteading of the geese really on a little island in Degnan Park and maybe some secluded areas in Crystal Lake. And the money, the taxpayers' money going for this is pretty steep. It was about, for addling the eggs, it's about 4,000. When they were killing the geese, it was 10,000. And now I think there's a proposal for to continue the addling of the eggs. There's $475 check, if I'm not mistaken, going toward permits to do this in the spring. When they do it, it's during the molting season of the geese, and that's when the geese are the nests are attacked by these, I guess, people that have a fish and wildlife license that they do this. So not only will it save the taxpayers money, but it will allow these geese that probably have maybe 3 to 6 goslings, little babies, if they ever get to have a family on this island. And the geese are territorial, so they're only going to allow like one couple. One couple will be there and have a home. And geese, they mate for life. So this a husband and wife. They've probably been trying to have a family for about 5-6 years since the town has tried to stop them. And why don't we give them a chance? So wouldn't it be nice for the kids around the school to see little baby goslings in Degnan Pond? It's right by the elementary school and the high school, and it really won't contribute to an overpopulation because there'll only be just one or 2 families. And I don't even know if there is a family in Crystal Lake. And I'm just trying to ask the administration to squelch this program, and if it need be, the council to maybe even have an ordinance to say this is something we don't want to do. A lot of towns around New Jersey have stopped doing these sort of birth control programs because they've realized the geese population has gone down. I even spoke to some people around Degnan Pond who had once complained to the health department here about the overpopulation of geese and the droppings in their driveway and lawn. And they said, no, it's okay. The last 2 years, everything has really been very, very mild, and they said they enjoy seeing the geese. That's basically it. And as for the incident at the temple, I think we should also look at the Essex County prosecutors. They're the ones who are prosecuting the victims and not the perpetrator. And I think instead of looking at our police, I think the real injustice is the Essex County prosecutor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Cohen. Please.
Hello, my name is Alicia Craddock. I'm a little bit nervous. That's why I don't really speak. I live on Larkin Circle. The concern I have is that I know that the county is doing the lights at the zoo right now. One of the first couple of days that it opened, traffic is really bad. There's been times that I've been caught in traffic and just going. I live across the street from St. Barnabas, so to speak. And just to go maybe the half a mile down Northfield Avenue, it can take 20 to 30 minutes just to get past the zoo. So I know that's more of a county issue in the sheriff's department. The sheriff's department is there. I don't always see people directing traffic. And a concern I also have is that if there's an emergency, being so close to the hospital, I'm not sure what South Orange Avenue looks like, but Pleasant Valley Way is backed up. Northfield Avenue on both sides is backed up. And I'm sure that South Orange Avenue can also get backed up if traffic is that bad on Cherry Hill Lane. So that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Craddock. Is there anyone who would like to speak at public comment? Please come on up as quickly as possible, because otherwise I'm going to close public comment at 8:13. Appreciate all the comments and appreciate you coming here to speak.
Just for the council response, if I can just caution the council against making any comment on Dr. Glick's statement that is replete with off the record issues that should not be discussed publicly by the council.
Thank you, Mr. Pastor. Is there anybody among us who would like to respond? Councilwoman.
Yeah, I could start. Let me start off with Ms. Burnett. And I know you're frustrated. And 2009 is ridiculous that this has not been solved yet. So I agree with you. As far as the one-way streets, if that's just looking to give you 200 spots in the area, I know you don't need them, but you're not the only resident that calls us. We have many others that don't come here, but do call. And so again, to me, something has to get resolved for your sake. I'm with you. I think something has to be resolved. So what that answer is going to be, hopefully our professionals are going to figure it out. You're right. 2009, it's ridiculous that we're still here in 2025. And it's not anything to do where you live or what area you live in. I'm sorry, but we're not up here. I'm not up here to protect the kids at Seton Hall. I am not. What do I have to gain by protecting kids from Seton Hall? So again, that frustrates me. I don't appreciate those comments that you bring directed at me constantly. So I don't have skin in the game, but I do want our residents to be able to enjoy and pull up in the parking spot. I live down the hill myself. And when I had 5 vehicles at home, when I had my 3 kids who lived at home at the time, we'd have to juggle parking spots all the time. And it was very frustrating because we had 5 drivers in our home, and I'm fortunate to have a driveway that fits 3 cars. But that was 2 on the street, and we juggled carts constantly and got tickets constantly. And I told my kids, that's up to you to make sure you have to park in the right spot, because it is frustrating. We're hoping to open up 200 parking spots in your area. And I'm sorry that if I advocate for that, because I think it's a good thing for all the residents in that area and our business owners. The parking permits, I don't believe, are going to be as helpful as you think they are. And other residents don't either. I have a letter here. I've had a few letters from people that are worried about that. They don't want to permit parking and lose parking in front of their own household. So again, this has been a constant problem. Anyone with concerns, December 2nd from 4 to 8 in this chambers, please come and talk to our parking consultants. You could stay 5 minutes, you could stay 4 hours and ask as many questions as you want. But this is a big community problem that has to be solved, and not everybody's going to be happy with what the results are. But as far as I'm concerned, I just want all of you to be able to park, go home and park. And I appreciate the zoning office director has been out there, and she's been doing a great job trying, since with these complaints and trying to address the commercial vehicle issue, because that is an issue for, a lot of contractors in the area bring their commercial vehicles home. They park them in their driveway and park their cars out on the street. That's a no-no, folks. You're not supposed to have commercial vehicles in your driveways. So enforcement. It's not going to get fixed overnight. And I'm sorry, I'm embarrassed that since 2009, we haven't been able to solve this problem. And I've also personally, I talked to the prior schoolmaster and this schoolmaster up at Seton Hall. I don't understand why the kids aren't parking in their parking lot and getting shuttled. But as the officer said, I mean, everybody's open to public spots. So we have to fix it. And that's plain and simple. But any case, we got to do that sooner than later. So please come to the meeting. In regards to, I'm gonna make one statement about what was said about our chief and the HRC. 2 years ago, Patricia West, who's a member on the HRC, came to me to help facilitate an award. The HRC honored our police chief with the Diversity and Inclusion Award from 2 years ago. And for all of his assistance to the community on what he has done in regards to diversity and inclusion. And so I know folks get frustrated for their own personal interactions. I want to thank the chief. He is retiring at the end of this month. I went to his retirement party last week, which well over 300 people attended. And I appreciate all his years of service to this community for all that he's done. When 2020, when things were tough here in this township, the chief was front and center with passing policy, even policies that we did have on the books, but revisiting those policies and making sure we had out in that June evening or July, I forget, it was hotter than anything that day. I remember being up here in front of Town Hall, and we had about 4,000 people on the front lawn here. It was over 100 degrees. People were passing out left and right. We didn't have, thank God, one incident, because the chief made sure that he brought in county representatives and he protected this community with a horrible time in our community. And, Essex County Mental Health Association, given our officers training and all that's been done there, a host of programs that were brought in, not just by him, but also I got to give credit where credit dues as well with Mr. Trank. So there are a lot of great programs that were brought in through the years. Chief started when he was 19-year-old officer. And I wish him and his family well as he retires at the end of this month. So after 45 years of service to this community, I want to thank him. And I also want to thank Mr. Fula's service as well. So again, I'm just going to leave it there. In regards to the other resident that came down from West Essex Highlands, I believe she had just departed, left us, but please look up at the planning board notes and go to the planning board meetings to see what's going on there with that project. There's been a lot of meetings, and if you haven't caught up on them, you need to do so. And Alicia, thank you for coming down. Lights at the Zoo, I've talked to Mr. Puglisi after the last meeting. Maybe Mr. Smeraldo, if you could just touch base with the county on the traffic with with the lights. I know they put extra officers on and they have to be really careful when the weather is nice, because when the weather is particularly nice, that zoo does, because the lights, it's spectacular there. People come from far to go see them, but it does cause havoc for our residents. We're trying to get home and whatnot. And thank you to everybody else that came, and congratulations to my colleague. Welcome back on the dais with us. And I look forward with all of us working together to do some great work this year. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilwoman. I just wanted to apologize for, you may have noticed I did not urge my colleagues to be as brief with their comments as I asked you to do. But I just wanted to reiterate that to speed up the meeting, it would be helpful if we could keep our thoughts as brief as possible just going forward. But that's all. Does anybody else would like to speak? I see a hand. Councilwoman.
New Council President.
Sure.
Just wanted to again thank you to all of those supporters who came out to see my swearing in. Thank you again to Senator McKeon for making special accommodations to come and give me the honor of that opportunity. Also just wanted to say that to Ms. Burnett, since 2009 and parking, that is absolutely a very long time. Everyone always says that government moves slow, but there's no excuse for government moving that slow. So now we do have parking studies. We have a dynamic parking team. And as I stated, hopefully we will listen as opposed to dictate how your residents and those in that area will live. So I'm looking forward to being here on the 2nd and understanding all of your needs. Also wanted to thank Mr. Johnston for his service on the Human Relations Commission. Wanted to make special note of his efforts to have all of our single-use restrooms changed in our community. That is something that was forward-thinking, done in many other towns, and certainly giving recognition to not just the LGBTQ community, but for those who also have special needs or who may be just in need of using a facility with no regard to whether it is driven by sexual orientation. Wanted to also congratulate the teams and hope that Council President will see it fit to have all of our award-winning teams come in before the end of the year so that we can give them accolades. Certainly with the West Essex Highlands being an ongoing issue and sitting before the planning board, there's never going to be a solution that is going to satisfy everyone, but certainly taking into consideration all those points that have been mentioned, that is something that is every time there is a planning board meeting on the West Essex Highlands fervently discussed. Also just wanted to make everyone aware that since my swearing in on Tuesday, I did attend the New Jersey League of Municipalities Conference in Atlantic City, which is an annual conference for local government officials and those in government. I used that time to participate in several courses, which included building equity, advancing minority participation in New Jersey construction, Civil Service Commission updates on recent initiatives, Cannabis Regulatory Commission landscape, bringing broadband to your community, and the powers and duties of the governing body. Each of these courses are directly relevant to the decisions we make, from economic development and workforce opportunities to infrastructure, public safety, and how we strengthen our governing processes. I also attended multiple networking events where I met with municipal leaders, state partners, and subject matter experts who offered valuable insights that I plan to bring back to our community. On Friday evening, I was proud to support the West Orange Arts Council at the opening of its November exhibit. That show features the work of 3 local artists, Kathleen Herron, Bismarck Treminio, and Zetro, and the turnout was incredible. I encourage all of our residents to stop by the West Orange Art Center Gallery and see this incredible exhibit. Also wanted to share that the sports media program will be hosting our December exhibit. We'll have 3 students who will showcase and highlight their incredible work, and hopefully I will be able to share with you the opening date of their reception as well. So those first few days have been full, productive, and energizing, and I look forward to keeping the public informed as I continue this work. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Who else? If you don't want to, I can go and speak if you'd like.
Go ahead.
Okay. Those of you probably know I don't frequently respond, but I did want to respond on a couple of issues, respond to public comment, just because I'm trying to move the meeting along. But some of the comments tonight have given me pause, and I want to just speak a little bit more at length than I did earlier about public comment. And I just want to reiterate that we should all have respect for the position up here and the person, and we should treat each other as we want to be treated. Because if the past is prologue, we will disagree. And our ordinance and Robert's Rules of Order strongly advise to focus on the issue and not the personalities or the person behind the discussion. And as council president, I will do all that I can to maintain that respectful interaction, and the same for other issues facing us. Many of them spoke tonight. We should treat each other as equals, because that's what both our laws and our culture require. And with the respect that each of us deserves, we need to focus on the issues and the facts behind those issues, because that will speed up the process of finding the solution and the compromise, which are often required. And I just wanted to, if the resident who came and spoke about West Essex Highlands, since she's a newcomer, just want to remind her and anyone else who's interested in finding out more about that project, because it's actually proposed to be double that size, a little under 500 units on the West Essex Highlands in the last considerable forest left in Essex County. If you want more facts, you can go to wecarenj.com, and that's a good place to start to get more information about what's going on out there. It's now an application before the West Orange Planning Board, and you can go to the Township website and find that information as well. Does anybody else would like to speak?
You want me to go? You can go. Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead. Joy, I can't tell you how sad I am to sit here and how sorry I am to have to listen to you and your neighbors meeting after meeting after meeting since 2009. You make a really excellent point. Everyone in your neighborhood needs to be listened to. Since 2009, you've been coming here, and your neighborhood needs to be treated like the rest of the neighbors all around West Orange. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of those different streets that have a different solution than yours does. I realize that you and your neighbors may not really want to have one-way streets. And it's probably the recommendation that might have been made by the parking commission, but they need to listen to your concerns, because you, like mothers, know their children better than the teachers. You know your neighborhood and your needs better than we do. As colleagues in the school, you know that. And one of the best courses that I had when I did my MBA was a course by a psychologist, and it was called Active Listening. And I've had some experiences in the last week or so with my seniors, and I just want to encourage our administration to engage in active listening and make sure that we are listening to all of the concerns of everyone with empathy and an understanding for their point of view, even if we don't agree, and even if we feel like the consultants have the best option. I think it's really important that we listen and internalize what they're saying. So I want us all to do that up here. Stephen, thank you for sharing your concerns with us. We do have a citizens review board. And they do, do some oversight. It's important that we understand Robert's rules. You could see even sometimes up here, we're at a loss. And as I've been working with many of the different committees, I've been thinking about for the last couple of years that we need to have a seminar for all of our commissions on proper protocol and Robert's rules. Right now, we have a new attorney, and the poor man is inundated with so many big problems. But at some point, it's an excellent suggestion and something that I've been concerned about and thinking about for a long time. We should maybe take a conference agenda at some point and have a little overview of Robert's rules and how we all should conduct ourselves up here. So thank you for bringing that to our attention. And Alicia, the traffic at the zoo, I've heard this over and over. I'd just like to ask our engineer if there, or Mr. Smeraldo, have there ever been any traffic studies up there in those areas around the zoo when there's?
So that is a county road, and we would have to rely on the county.
Right.
We listening to Ms. Creta, is it Ms. Creta? I'm sorry, Bretta, listening to her, we'll contact our county engineer, our counterpart to our director, and we can ask them to look into that.
Yeah, because we do hear that a bit. I think that might be helpful.
Okay.
And to
And
pass
you can provide us, if you want to send an email to me, I can pass it along to the county engineer. Okay?
And Pastor Adams, thank you again for sharing all of your concerns with us. I would like to address things privately with you. I think it's important to understand that a lot of what happens here is nuance, and there are a lot of things related to our litigation and different aspects of what we do that the public does not know, and sometimes we can or cannot share, but I will be reaching out to you and we can talk privately about whatever your concerns are, okay?
Councilwoman.
Okay. First thing I'd like to address is something that did not come up tonight, but I think it's really important because of the number of letters that this council has received and the number of letters that have gone to the administration. And that issue is the Mount Pleasant Forest. On a very, very sad note, at the last council meeting, many people spoke to the council urging that the Mount Pleasant Forest be preserved for the safety of everyone who drives around the dangerous bend of Mount Pleasant Avenue and for the residents who live directly below the cliff. There was only one person in the room that night who could have stopped the cutting of the forest, only Mayor McCartney. Yet the pleas of the residents and over 120 letters into our inbox fell on deaf ears. The day after our council meeting, the forest was cut into. It looks like a clear cut in the section that was denuded. The mayor put out a statement misrepresenting the purpose of the Open Space Fund, Trust Fund. She claimed that the fund could only save land that could be devoted to recreation. This is patently false. The fund has always been used to help protect environmentally sensitive land, and saving the Mount Pleasant Forest was definitely that. It was intended to prevent flooding and erosion and a potential second Rongelin collapse. Mayor McCartney knew this well. She made sure when she was on the council that the land behind her house, which serves no recreational purpose, was preserved with our open space dollars. In contrast, the Mount Pleasant Forest, with its abundant wildlife and breathtaking vistas, was admirably suited for recreation and hiking. There would have been ample parking on Ridge Road, which, while a private road, has always been publicly accessible, as the mayor well knows. This was a low point for environmental stewardship and preserving not just the environment, but for the safety and well-being of our residents. As to some of the comments this evening, we had at least 3 residents address us with different areas having to do with police. I know we cannot speak about Dr. Glick's remarks, but I do thank him for for making his comments tonight before the council. Ms. Burnett, your concerns about parking and having a parking solution imposed on you, I'm in complete agreement. This has to be a situation where the community is listened to, and that is why I so stridently argue to have a second meeting where your community would be included. I have asked the administration to send out notices to the community, and I really hope that notices can be sent out, and not only that the notices be sent out in Spanish, because much of this community does not speak English. So they really do need to know when and where it is. So I am urging again the administration in whatever fashion you can to drop a leaflet the neighborhood so that they can all participate and be part of the dialogue of what will happen with the parking situation. There is a simple reason why the Seton Hall students are parking in that neighborhood. This town allows it. We don't have to allow it, and it can be stopped by issuing permits. New Jersey State Law 39:4-197.7 specifically says that municipalities may issue parking permits. As Ms. Burnett cited, it's been done all over West Orange, just not in the area that most desperately needs it. So to overlook the urgency and the need for parking does not make sense. Mr. Johnson, thank you so much for coming out, for writing to us, and for bringing very, very important issues about lack of integration in the police force to the public's attention. A few months ago, you may be aware that an attorney for Lieutenant John Tito, a longtime non-white officer, alleged that promotions were not happening in a way that reflect diversity. The numbers and concerns that you brought out certainly reinforce that. I'd like to understand from the administration why the report that Mr. Johnson is requesting, that was done by Ellen O'Connell, has not been released to him. That we do have compliance requirements with Oprah's. He's done an Oprah. He wants to see this, and I would urge that report be released to him so that he can see what the study said. Leslie, who came and spoke to us about West Essex Highlands, I spoke a little bit earlier about what could be done to save land. I hope that the mayor can help save this land too. This is not a situation where some people will be happy and some people will be unhappy. There is not a single person who has attended any of the up to 16 hearings from the public who has argued for the destruction of the West Essex Highlands. This is yet another example of where the town could move and use open space money and Green Acres money and actively seek to protect this land and all of the residents, not only in West Orange, but in all the municipalities that have come forward and urged preservation of this land. Mr. Cohn, thank you so much for coming out and speaking about our our residents who do not pay taxes, but who are part of our community, the Canadian geese. I strongly agree with you. I spoke out last year against this horrendous practice of killing the geese. I was told at that time that the addling was the only thing that was done. I later found out that we have been paying for years for the geese to be gassed. This is a horrific practice. West Orange is proud of this, and we should stop this. Recently, in the past year, specifically, we see that far fewer geese are living in our community. And this is a loss to our community. I do not support payment of the permit to continue killing them, and I will be pulling that bill tonight. As far as the lights concerned at the zoo, we pay a big price for all of the business that the zoo gets. It's all crowds our street, and again, somebody else, one of my colleagues, also asked for a study or some impact from the county as how we can deal with this tremendous influx. They get thousands and thousands of cars, and the neighbors cannot get out of their home safely. Is there something that can be done, especially during that time, to help regulate the traffic? And with that, I think that I've covered everything that I wanted to cover tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Council President, I'm sorry, before you continue, I just have a brief announcement from the West Orange Police Department. If Sabrina Allen is in council chambers, they're requesting that she move her car because she's blocking a charging station. I'm
For these, at 46 miles, at the old library.
Thank you, Council President, and pardon the interruption.
Thank you. Is there anything that anybody from the administration wants to respond to in any of the comments tonight that you haven't responded to yet?
Sure. You want to go first? You have anything? So first of all, thank you for letting me speak tonight. We haven't officially introduced him tonight as his first meeting. So this is our Assistant Town Attorney, Mr. Greg Pastor. I want to welcome him aboard. He has been providing some counsel already, but so I want to just, he was introduced a couple weeks ago when we when they were selected through consent of the council. So Mr. Pastor, welcome.
Thank you.
So that's first. Second, so again, I'm hearing what Councilwoman Scarpa said. We do in the administration listen to the public, and we take in, but we hear sometimes one side or the other, but we have to listen to all sides, and that's what we're trying to do. I know that some of the residents are feeling slighted with parking in the valley. I've been involved with this now for the last 6 months, and I think we've really moved it along in the last 6 months. And unfortunately, sometimes these things take longer than we expect. So I'm not asking her for forgiveness, Ms. Burnett, and those in the neighborhood, but understanding that we are trying to get a common goal for all. And that includes parking and addressing all the concerns, whether any of the streets and any of the situations. So we're listening to it all. That is the reason we did the study. That is why we had one public meeting. That's why we're having a second public meeting. And that's why we've asked you tonight to approve a resolution on the dynamic traffic study, so that, and I could have the director speak about that a little bit more later, but that's what we're doing. That's why we're listening. So that's important to us. That's important to the administration. It's important to the mayor. So I want to make sure that we address that. To say that we're not listening to other things, I would like to address the forest. The forest was approved in a zoning application, and it's not a forest. That is a self-described name by a certain interest of people. That is Ridge Road. It's number 10 Ridge Road. That's the property. That is a lot and block number. It's not a forest. It's a property that's being developed. It was approved through all the proper channels, and we cannot interfere with that situation. So the fact that it was taken down and some people are not happy about it, that is not what we can do because it was legally authorized. And there's an owner of the property who was putting in a home, who has also said, which was provided to the council, is providing back more trees that are taken down. I believe the number was 114 or 117 I have in front of me right now. So they are placing back more trees. So to say that the mayor was sitting idly by and didn't stop, that's not true. It was done through legal and proper channels, and that's the status of the property right now. What else? I'm trying to look. So I'm not going to address any of the legal matters that were brought up tonight because that's part of a process that we have. We have a legal team. So I am not going to address any of that tonight. The geese. This is not, so we can set for the record, the Director Fonzino has requested that the DEP provide us permits to address the geese population. The geese population, while some people appreciate what they can do for their community, are a hazard and a nuisance in accordance to the health director and others, that they cause between the fecal droppings and the matter and everything else is a hazard to the majority of the community. I will say this for on point, that while the contract may say gassing, we have not gassed as far as I'm concerned, or no, in the last 2 or 3 years, have gassed any. All we've done is addle the eggs. We need a permit from the DEP in order to do so. This bill list, this $475 is the permit fee application. We are not in the process of doing anything right now with addling eggs or of that nature. So one of the comments was that there's so few, and the reason there's so few is because the program is successful. So we're, the administration's moving forward, the health department's moving forward. We're going through the application process. And that's the reasons for it. And Director Fonzino has stated about this plenty of times. I could have him come back and state it again, but he would just, all we got to do is play the one of the previous meetings, and he'll probably repeat himself. What else do we have here? I'm trying to look at the congestion on Northfield Ave. I think I addressed that, but that is not our road. While it impacts our community, the 9 intersections we have with the 6 county roads has always been a problem, and we can speak to our counterparts in engineering in the county, and I'm sure that we can ask them to address it. What's going to happen, I cannot promise you, but we can ask them to look into that. And I think I covered about much of what I can cover as far as the questions here. So the last thing I do want to say, I too want to thank Chief James Abbott. I have been a colleague, a friend, a confidant, a chief with him. We work together. I couldn't ask for a greater partner. He and I together ran the emergency services for the town of West Orange for many years, him a little bit longer than me. And I'm grateful for all the things that he has taught me or listened to and all the rest. And despite a lot of the negativity of a few, there's a greater amount that have respected him and have thanked him and appreciated everything he did for us. So Jim, I salute you. Congratulations. Good luck in your retirement. You earned it. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Smeraldo. Could you please make your comments brief and stick to facts as opposed to your advocacy, which is very admirable, but we're trying to get through the meeting. So please deal with the facts, please. Go
Thank you
ahead.
so much. I always deal with the facts. I just want to respond to the remarks that Mr. Smeraldo made about the forest. Yes, it was a privately owned land, but it also was a forest chock full of wildlife. And this particular parcel of land could possibly unleash a major disaster, both on the road and on the road around the bend and on the community. And that is why the environmental community advocated for so long to save this particular lot of land. The only permit that was given before the zoning board on this particular application was to move soil. And at the time, the zoning board officers did not realize what would unleash after the permit for removing soil would happen. There are specific stormwater requirements that are needed when these many trees are removed. And the stormwater requirements, I have asked you and I have not gotten an answer. Not that you're being negligent in any way. I know that it just hasn't been answered. Were not in place when all of these trees were removed. And there is a tremendous amount of fear. So yes, this was privately owned land. Yes, our environmental commission has repeatedly asked to save this land. Yes, there were funds from the trust fund to preserve this land, and a decision was made not to preserve it. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll just say, I was an advocate for buying the property, but under our form of government, the council cannot negotiate a contract. That is a power under our law given to the mayor. And as much as we all dislike that law because of the consequences of this, it's a done deal. The property was offered to us. The prior mayor wouldn't buy it. The current mayor wouldn't buy it, and it transferred to people's, a private owner. And as Mr. Smeraldo said, they went through the process. If there are some issues that were not addressed in a legal form, please, let's take it up. But let's not spend more time at a council meeting trying to fight this battle, no matter how admirable it is. And please, let's move on if we could. We're good to go? Great. Madam Clerk.
Council President, we have an executive session on the agenda tonight. I don't know when you wanted to address that.
Well, what do my colleagues want to do? I would suggest that we pull out the three resolutions that are the subject of the executive session. Those would be 233-25, 234-25, and 264-25. See if we can get through the rest of the agenda and then go to the executive session. And when I say the rest of the agenda, I'm also referring to Resolution 270-25, which authorizes an executive session. I see a hand up here.
Yeah, I see our labor attorney in the audience.
So did I.
Okay. I just, I don't mind going now. I know we're done with public comment, but again, I just wanted to bring that point up that he is
Okay.
in the audience and we may want to do those resolutions first in executive session and then come out and do the rest of it to let him leave.
Councilwoman, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I'd like to do it sooner rather than later.
Okay.
Councilwoman.
Thank you. So may I move us into executive session?
Yeah, we've got a few other things to hit on before we get to the resolutions, and we have to get through them to get to the resolutions. I think if that's what I'm understanding you guys want to do,
Sure. 230.
and then get to the resolutions and
265.
approve them.
Four.
Is that sufficient? We've got the consent agenda is several different pieces. Do we want to do that? Or do you want to go to executive session now?
I'd like to go straight to
So I hear one, I hear two. Do I hear a three?
I think we should do the bills first. Don't we?
That's
Councilwoman,
not a
did you
three.
make a motion?
I did make a motion that we go into executive session.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Okay.
So we've got a second.
Yeah.
Is there any further discussion?
I
Oh,
think
go
that we should do the bills because procedurally we do generally do the bills and then go into the resolutions.
So we
And
could take a
this has
vote.
to do with,
I'm okay.
Well, we certainly, excuse me for a second. We need to control ourselves. Raise your hand if you want to speak and be recognized, please. So we have a motion and a second. So we're having discussion about the motion, and the motion is to move to executive session now.
Right.
So we have a first and a second. Is there any further discussion? Okay, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Castellino,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rudin,
no,
Councilwoman Scarpa,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Council President Krokoviac.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
So before we go to executive session, we need to approve Resolution 270-25, which is a resolution authorizing an executive session for personnel matters.
Make a motion to approve 270.
Second. Okay, Councilwoman Castellino.
Yes.
Just before we go, is there any further discussion? Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Councilwoman Rudin. This is on 270 to enter in, to do an executive session. Authorizing an executive session for tonight.
I'm sorry, what is the question?
To do it.
Your vote, yes or no?
To
For
go into executive session?
No, we already voted on that to
270
approve resolution authorizing an executive
Yes.
session. Yes? Okay. Councilwoman Scarpa,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Council President Kukoviac.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you, everybody. We will see you just as quickly as I can make it possible.
First one, Tammy did. Second, I did.
All Orange.
Good evening, West Orange, and thank you for your patience. Council has returned from executive session. As you can see, they are back here in council chambers, ready to resume the meeting. And at this time, I'd like to turn the floor over to Council President.
Thank you, Mr. Fagan. And now I'll turn the floor over to Madam Clerk.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn the executive session?
Make a
And
motion.
thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Any discussion? Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Castellino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rudin?
Yes.
Councilwoman? Smith?
Yes.
Councilwoman, woman Williams? Well, yes. Council President Krokoviac?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Great. We're back in and it looks like on my agenda, it's point 2. Agenda item 2, consent agenda. Madam Clerk?
Yes. Okay, so approval of minutes of previous meeting, public meeting, October 28th, 2025, November 7th, 2025, and November 12th, 2025.
Consent.
Consent.
Thank you. Report of township officers, none. Reading of petitions and communications and bids, none. Bill list, are there any questions on the bills?
Yes.
Councilwoman.
Just a second. Okay, I'm sorry that I did not get the numbers to Madam Clerk before the meeting, but I just got a response from our business administrator at 5:01 today. And I don't even have all of the answers to the questions that I asked. I'd like to pull Bill 189688, Easy Pass.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that, what I didn't provide you?
I said that you provided me with the information at 5:01, so I have not had a lot of time to digest.
Oh, I'm
the
sorry.
information.
Well, just for the record, I didn't receive that because I was working on all the other council questions till 4:30 on Friday. And I didn't receive that email actually till the next day. Our staff is off on the weekends. They don't
I
respond.
understand.
And unfortunately, our QPA was off today. And we had other things we had to tend to. So I apologize for being late, but when it comes in on 4:30 or 4:30 on a Friday, it's kind of tough to answer.
I didn't send it in at 4:30.
Guys,
That's what I
guys,
received.
guys, come on.
So-
Let's just deal with the present. If you have enough information to make your decision and all of us to make the decision, let's do it. If not, we'll table it and get it at the next meeting. So there's the point you were making was about Easy Pass records.
Yes,
Can you repeat the number?
it's 189688.
In the amount of?
I don't have the amount. It was not
It was.
$200.
200.
$200.
It was a refill for an Easy Pass.
That's not accurate. It was a $200 refill, but the charge was $29 for that month. That particular Easy Pass.
Okay.
So it's not $200. We're talking about $29 now?
It's a $29 charge the councilwoman is referencing to. It's a $200 charge because it's a purchase order, an open purchase order.
Right.
They have to replenish it to $200.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Councilwoman.
Okay, do you want my explanation on why I'm pulling this?
Sure.
Okay. This is an Easy Pass that is being used for our current chief of police. I would like to know why it was paid out of petty cash, police petty cash. I'd also like to know why we are paying for travel to places throughout New Jersey, including, and it's not the Easy Pass, because we, as a municipal police officer, he is not charged for interstate travel. However, we are paying for the gas, and that adds up. So I see, while I'm looking at the Easy Pass, I'm reading gas, and there are charges to Belmar, Asbury Park, Brick South, throughout. We are also paying tolls to New York City and Massachusetts. And I would also like the full Easy Pass record for this tag since January of 2025. So my question is basically, I understand that the police chief does not, there's no fee when he's driving interstate, but is it the township's responsibility to pay for personal travel outside of the state?
Council President?
Yes, please.
So in the email that I did send at 5:01 today, I directed you to the attachment of the letter that was sent out on June 24th, 2025. And it says, in accordance to the township's policy and procedure 6.6 on the use of township vehicles, which is also included in the email, this office must approve any vehicle designated as a take-home vehicle. As stated in section 6.6-2B, Roman numeral 2, or lower two I's, please provide a memo listing members of your staff who are required to take home a vehicle and the need of the vehicle access in the furtherance of township business. The employee should provide with notification that there may be a tax ramification under the IRS fringe benefits general violation rule if the assigned vehicle is for non-use emergency. Please note, the following employees are exempt from this policy: police director, police chief, fire director, fire chief, animal control officer. According to this policy, this office must provide the information to the mayor and the township council within 7 business days of receiving the notification. Please provide the information in writing, preferably by separate memo, which can be maintained by the township permanent files by the close of July 7, 2025. In the event of an emergency, a member of your staff may take home any township-owned vehicle with prior approval from this office. Thank you. That was sent out by me. And on July 1st, I sent with the council and the mayor the letter of those who are authorized to take home the vehicle. The chief is authorized to take home the vehicle.
That was not my question.
Well,
And
that's
that
my
is-
answer.
Okay, thank you. But
You're
that is not relevant to why I'm pulling the easy pass. I understand that the chief is authorized, as is the fire chief, is authorized to take home a vehicle. My question had to do with the use of easy pass outside of New Jersey and the tolls that were related to those charges that clearly do not have any relevance to work inside West Orange.
Okay, so again, all of this stuff is important, but it's not something we should be taking up our council meeting time. This is stuff that if we didn't get to it before the meeting, we'll push it back for the next meeting. You can make a motion to table or whatever, but we're not going to, is it just me, or we're not going to settle this issue tonight? And I agree with Councilwoman Rudin. She should get the information that she needs. And if we were unable to, we, meaning the administration, was unable to get her the information, we'll just have to get the information and address it at a future council meeting. So again, I'm just trying to push the meeting forward to address the issues that the business issues that we can address tonight. And I don't know that we need to further discussion. Either you request information, and if you don't get it, we have to push it back. It's just as simple as that. Am I missing something?
One quick comment.
Councilwoman.
Just one quick comment. To my understanding, through all this time, they asked this question, and it's a legitimate question. The answer has always been with the chiefs that they are required, they have to come back if they're away on vacation, no matter where they're at, that they have to come back. And that's why that they're covered. And that's something that you want to look into in the future to get changed. That's something you see if you can get changed, what is already in their contract versus not in their contract, or what is mandatory through statute. So those are, but again, I agree with Council President, we're not going to just figure that out tonight, but it's something that we can talk about. I agree with him. We should move on.
I understand, but the chief has been on sick leave throughout all of these trips. So I assume that if he is sick, he's not running back from Massachusetts.
That's for council.
So I think now, and I'm going to defer to our council, I think we're
Yeah.
getting to matters of personnel, which are going to be outside the
Yes.
scope of this.
I would like to pull that bill, and now I will talk about the other bill that I would like to pull. I'd like to pull the enterprise bill 187041. I have specific questions on that, some of which were answered and some of which I would like to continue the discussion on. I'd like to pull Bill 186961 on goose control for 475. I spoke earlier about my opposition to continuing this practice of addling eggs for our geese, which basically are very little population in West Orange. I feel it's cruel. I feel it's unnecessary. And I'd like to stop this practice. And I'm just surprised that after all of the discussion last year, this is still going forward. This is not a public nuisance problem.
So, Councilwoman, you mentioned something about an enterprise bill. What was that amount for, please?
The amount was, it's somewhat not clear to me. Was the bill only 540?
Correct. So, Council President, if I may.
Yes, please.
We also utilize enterprise to handle a lot of our vehicle maintenance. So there's not only a capital financing plan in place, but they cover maintenance. So we may bring it to the Mavis on Bloomfield Avenue in Verona, and they do a tire change. And then we would just pay enterprise. We're not paying Mavis directly because they're part of like the enterprise maintenance network. So that's what this is. This is a maintenance bill. It's not one of our big capital finance or capital leasing bills.
Got it. My question had to do with one of the particular leases in that bill.
Okay. But the purchase order reference is just for maintenance. But if you have a question on the actual capital financing, we can get you that information. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Councilwoman, you still
I
have the floor? I have a question. I have a hand raised. Councilwoman Kessler.
I just have a question about what 110 Franklin Street is a municipal building, and they have a television there?
That is part of our DPW facility. That is the assigned to the maintenance of our parks and recreation, and a lot of our facilities have television stations because of weather and things of that nature. They're not sitting there with popcorn and their feet up watching a council meeting, I can assure you. But they are looking at things such as the weather, and a lot of our cable is pretty much free. So they don't pay for, they're not paying for pay-per-view or on-demand movies or things of that nature. It's more about communications. Okay.
So I'm just pulling three bills, and maybe I can go over those bills with Mr. Detiniak after the meeting.
Sure.
Oh, I do have one more question. Why is there a shower at 10 Rooney?
So because it's part of the section of the building that we lease.
So who uses the shower that would cause a clog in the shower?
The staff of the staff that's assigned, that rents the area.
What staff would take a shower there?
It's our tenant on the second floor.
We don't.
We don't
Release
speak about
the-
the tenants on the second floor. It is a private agency, and they're for the use of the staff.
Okay.
Madam Clerk, do we need any sort of vote to pull these bills?
It's just the term.
Oh, okay. I beg your pardon.
I'm not entirely familiar with your council bylaws, but if your practice is to defer to one council member's request to pull something and you can do the rest of the bill list on its own, that's acceptable.
Okay. Councilman Castellino, I appreciate your
No,
patience.
no, that's okay. That's okay. Just Councilwoman, we already approved that Goose contract, and I know you didn't support it last time. So my request is before we get, if we could know when that contract's gonna come up again, instead of waiting to the 12th hour to give notice. So if she has another recommendation for that,
So
the beginning of the year, that.
So because it was a late delay, I
Yeah.
think this year, what was it, April or something like that? And we were worried about the time frame of the idling, and we couldn't get the or approval from the DEP. That was a late window. The director is in November being proactive and seeking that license now. This fee is just to get the license. It's not the contract that's being issued. It's just giving us the permission to do the work in the park, which we cannot get a contract if in fact we don't get the approval from the DEP.
Yeah, okay. I got that. So I just want to just make that recommendation. If you have another recommendation, get it together, sooner. So you have it before we're voting on it that night, number one. And number two, I do believe it's a severe health issue. And it has been maintained. We haven't gassed any geese. And, but again, I'm always open to options, but just to give her enough time to
Thank-
get the options to us.
Yes.
Thank
Madam
you.
President, I have spoken to Director Fonzino. We will be taking out the gas from that. That was an oversight in last year's contract. That will be removed. So that will not be an option. We will not be gassing the geese or anything of that nature. It is the recommendation of the health director to use the addle the eggs. That's his recommendation.
Did you want to say? It looked like you wanted.
Well,
to say
I
something.
just wanted to respond to Councilwoman Castellino. We have gassed the geese. To say that we haven't is not true. We have, and you can ask Mr. Fonzino. It is true, we have, and we have
A long
documentation.
time ago, but not.
Not a
last-
long time ago, not last year.
Okay.
Hey, guys,
Okay.
is this something that we're gonna,
No.
has an impact on what we're trying to do tonight? Madam Clerk?
I spoke with the director and he said it hasn't been done in the last few years, so.
Okay, thank you. So the question is to pull these three bills so that we can approve the rest of them. Do we need to go to a vote? And I
Yes.
think that's, okay. So is everybody, oh, go ahead, Madam Clerk. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Councilwoman.
President, I move that we approve the remaining bill list.
Okay, hold on 1 minute. I just want to confer with the attorney.
Okay.
Yeah, I think what we typically do is we'll pull out the bills that we want to hold and then approve everything else. Yes, but we have a vote because sometimes we don't vote to pull those. So.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just trying to get us.
It's an admirable.
We do need a vote?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so my advice was simply, so, every council does things their own way. Sometimes it's 100% by the book, by the statute, sometimes it's not. But the clerk pointed out that statute dictates that to pull anything off the list, you do need a vote. And so I would recommend that you call for a motion and a second on Councilwoman Ruden's three bills to be removed.
Okay. And I think we did have a motion, didn't we?
No.
Did we-
That was a motion on the remaining bills.
Right, right.
Right. First, we have to pull the bills and vote on them, and then we have to vote on the rest of the
Well,
bills.
we have to vote on whether or not you're pulling the bills.
Right.
Because a single
So-
council person cannot unilaterally do
right.
that.
So we would ask Councilwoman Williams to rescind her motion on the remaining bills, and then you can proceed on the removal.
It wasn't seconded.
Right. Still, the custom has been, we just.
Just rescind.
Yeah.
No problem. I'll rescind.
Okay. So now, do we have a motion to pull the three bills that Councilwoman Rudin spoke about? The Easy Pass for $29, the Enterprise Bill for $540, and the Goose Control related bill of $475.
I'm gonna call for division.
What does that mean?
Separate those requests, please.
Oh, okay. All right, so you want to vote on each one? Okay.
Let's have a vote on that. I'm just kidding. Okay. So, Madam Clerk, the first bill is Easy Pass, $29. Do we have a motion to approve?
No.
To pull, excuse me. Do we have a motion to pull? I will make the motion. Is there a second? There's no second to.
What do you mean?
No, you want a second.
Oh, yes, second.
Okay. So this is for the $29 for the,
Yeah, Easy Pass.
all right.
Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk?
okay, Councilwoman Castellino,
To pull, no, not to pull.
Councilwoman Rudin,
Yes.
Councilwoman Scarpa,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
No.
Council President Kukoviac.
Yes.
Okay, so that was pulled. Okay, hold on. I just want to get this straight. All right, now for the enterprise, is there a motion to pull?
So moved?
Second.
Okay, Councilwoman Castellino,
No.
Councilwoman Rudin,
Yes.
Councilwoman Scarpa,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
No.
Council President Kukoviac.
Yes.
Okay, that carries. And finally, the goose control. Is there a motion to pull?
Yes, motion to pull.
Is there a second? Okay, the motion fails, so we are not pulling that one. Okay.
I
Thank
move
you.
that we approve the remaining bills on the bill list.
A second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay, perfect. Motion carries. Zero. Okay, now resolutions. Are any resolutions being pulled this evening? We already pulled 233, 234, 264, and 270 was voted upon.
I am good.
Is there any polls?
Yes, I am pulling 261,
251?
261.
Oh,
I'm pulling 267. I have a question on 269.
okay. Okay.
And I'd like to make a comment on 271.
Oh, I had a question on 270.
Okay. I'll put that down.
Is there anyone else who has questions, comments, or polls? Councilwoman.
Question on 265.
Anything else? No? Okay, so should we start to review?
I guess we can start with 261. Is that what you're suggesting?
I was gonna start with,
Then please do.
as far as questions are concerned.
No, you do what you want,
Okay, can I go home?
other than that.
Okay.
I'll go home for you.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I was gonna start with 233-25 because that was the first resolution pulled.
Should we discuss? I make a motion to approve 233. Is there no
Second.
discussion?
And a second.
Yep, got
Is
it.
there any further discussion? Madam Clerk?
Okay, Councilwoman Castellino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rudin?
No.
Councilwoman Scarpa?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams?
Yes.
Council President Krokoviac?
Yes.
Okay, the motion carries. Okay, and then 234-25, this is a resolution authorizing agreement with Michael Kier, Deputy Chief of Police.
Make a motion to approve 234. If there's no other discussion.
Second.
Okay,
Any discussion? And because this is a personnel issue, that we're sort of limited on what we can say, what we can't say.
correct.
But both of these were part of our discussion in executive session.
Correct.
So eventually the residents will have an opportunity to see the minutes from the executive session at some point in the future. Anyway.
Someday. Councilwoman Castellino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rudin?
No.
Councilwoman Scarpa?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams?
Yes.
Council President Krokoviac?
Yes.
The motion carries. Okay. Next is 261-25, resolution authorizing a contract to Servo's Parsippany Greenhouses for the purchase of trees, root barriers, and deer fencing in the amount of $79,000, with an additional $12,000 to install deer fencing and root barriers if needed. Councilwoman Rudin, you pulled this.
Yes. First of all, I asked some questions about this and I did not get my answers back. Or if I did get them back, I did not get them till 5:01 and have not had a chance to digest it. Also, I have gotten a quite extensive report from Rutgers Cooperative, which took a look at our resolution and our practices and gave some suggestions. So I would like to hold this off until we have further discussion, and I will send around the memo from Rutgers, and hopefully this will, we can bring this back on next time.
Is there,
Would you like to make that a motion to table?
Yes.
Motion to table.
I'll second it.
well,
There's no discussion once it's done. You got to do it right away.
so I can discuss now.
No, you can't discuss. 'cause it was
I just want to make sure there
table.
wasn't a time constriction on purchasing.
No discussion. Councilwoman Castellino?
To pull it without knowing if there's a time constriction, I'm gonna say no.
You don't know, okay. This is a motion to table, so
Right.
it was, did you vote?
I'm voting because I don't know if there's a time constriction.
Right.
Because if there is,
On this purchase?
well, no, it's.
On the contract to Serbos, but you can't discuss it. It's an immediate vote.
I have to say no, because I don't know
Okay,
the answer to my question.
okay.
I'm
Council,
trying to see it.
Councilwoman Rudin,
Yes, to table.
Councilwoman Scarpa,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Council President Krokoviac.
Yes.
Okay, the motion carries. That was legit.
Which one is this?
The 261-25.
Hold
Can't
on a
look-
second,
can't look at it.
got a hand raised over here.
Make a note that,
Speak up a little bit more.
I'm sorry,
I don't think all the crowds.
just wanted to make a note that it was dated for 12/9/2025.
That one was?
Yes.
Oh,
So,
that was a
Council-
mistake.
Council
Okay.
President,
Thank
I
you.
apologize, but
Well, what's going on?
261 was answered. I sent it to you guys last week. It was in the OneDrive. There's an answer here for 261.
Okay.
I was sent by Director Carvalho and Ms. Sewell's.
Okay, thank you. But I think part of the issue is that Councilwoman Rudin says she got some input from, I guess, the Rutgers Cooperative. I don't know what that is, but anyway, that's something that perhaps we could consider. And
That's fine, but I just wanted, for the record,
Yes.
you received this on Friday
yes, thank you.
at 4:30 before the other ones.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we've done with 261.
Will you be able to circulate that report?
Yes, please.
Oh. hold on.
Last year we had a date to order these.
Yeah, Mr.
That's
Sparaldo.
why
yes.
I'm concerned.
I had asked the question about what was the failure and replacement rate for the previous contract. And I think the answer that I got was a misunderstanding of what I was requested. So obviously it doesn't matter if we've just tabled it, but I would like to know what was the failure / replacement rate for the contract for this year?
Okay.
And
I would suggest that as we've been doing, if anybody else has any other questions, direct them to the president and if you could forward them to me so I
Okay.
can get them to everybody.
okay,
All right.
sounds good.
And just so we know that there are two sets of answers in the OneDrive. They're labeled. You have access from the email I sent on Friday. One is November 24th, questions, and then the other one says it's a file under second. So
Yeah,
they're two
yeah,
separate.
and the issue I think was that for some reason, only the
Oh, sorry.
only the questions that were contained in the attachment were answered. And Councilwoman Rudin's questions were in text within the email, and that seems to not have gotten through to whoever needed to see it. So I think that's the issue that we had, because I also emailed you about that issue late today, and
Yeah, I thought every question got answered, and if we didn't, we'll readdress it, but I made sure we were answering all the questions in
Okay.
a timely manner, but other than the ones that we received earlier today.
yes, please tell me.
We answered some of them. So we tried to answer as many as we could.
Please tell Ms. Reynolds to never take vacation, okay?
Yeah, she's not permitted anymore.
Too crucial. So I'll send you an email.
Yeah, please.
Okay,
And we'll get to the answers.
okay.
Okay, then. General motion to table, come up on.
All right, sorry about that.
I learned fast.
All right, so I've been told that 263 needed to be pulled until after the approval of the ordinance 2944-25 on second and final reading.
All right.
So you have to rescind our vote on approving the consent agenda, pull 263, and then do our,
We don't do the consent agenda.
oh, we didn't?
No.
I thought we did.
No.
Oh, all right. So then, all right, we're all good. So now we just have to pull 263 after all my
Okay.
panic. Okay, sorry.
Go for it.
Yay.
Is that
thank
the
you.
administration that's pulling that, so we don't have to go through a vote?
The procedure, right?
Yeah, you wanna pull it?
We can pull it for the purpose of,
Yeah.
second.
Okay. Thank you. So we're not gonna approve that until after the ordinance on second and final.
Sounds good.
Okay, so now we'll move forward. 264-25, resolution designating Dominic Allegrino OEM coordinator.
Make a motion.
Second.
A
Any
motion
discussion?
to approve?
I make a motion for.
All right.
Is there any discussion? Again, this is a personnel issue, so.
Correct. Councilwoman Castellino to approve?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rudin?
No.
Councilwoman Scarpa?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams?
Yes.
Council President Krokoviac?
Yes.
Okay, the motion carries. Okay. 267-25, resolution authorizing a professional services contract, to Dynamic Traffic, to provide professional engineering services for the implementation plan of the comprehensive parking study at the Valley Heights and Rolling Green Hills Municipal Plaza area in an amount not to exceed $80,000. Councilwoman Rudin.
Madam Clerk.
Yeah.
Before we move on to that, Councilwoman Williams wanted to ask a question about 265. Do we want to
Oh,
go through the?
sure,
and
we
then
can
come
do
back to
that.
the questions, or should we?
Oh, that's
Okay.
fine. I'm sorry. I passed over that.
Okay,
so.
Councilwoman.
Thank you.
Please.
265-25 was regarding the improvements at Lafayette Park. This is now coming back before the council about 8 or 9 months after it was presented. I wanted to understand if the original cost of these improvements is still the same, or if the delay has caused an increase in the cost to the municipality and the taxpayers.
There was a slight increase. I apologize. I don't have it in front of me, but there was definitely an increase.
There was a $6,000 increase.
Oh, yeah, Director, I'm sorry. I'll turn to the expert.
There's a $6,000 increase.
Thank you.
And just for context, for all of you in the audience, both online and here, what the council had decided early this year, that because of the priority of putting together a debt management plan, we wanted to suspend any discretionary capital spending until after we got the plan in place. And we've had, since then, we spent our time on a lot of other things, including the budget. We've had one presentation of the original debt management plan, and we were planning to bring it back today to get finalization and resolution. Mr. Tiniak was buried in a lot of other things that needed his critical immediate attention. And so we are now going to address that debt management plan at the next meeting. But that's what caused the delay and the increase in the cost of the equipment at Lafayette Park. And I think at the time that we agreed that we would prioritize the debt management plan, that no one expected that we would now be in November to try to do this. So,
Council President.
please.
So I have to disagree with that respectfully, because I did support approving this back 8 months ago, mainly because it was money that was already approved and was already accounted for. And I felt it did not require another conversation about that. It was in regards to debt management plan, because it was already debt that was already issued out and consolidated in another bond. So I just want to clear the record, because I was in disagreement with that vote. So I'm sorry. I just, respectfully disagree, because I did support this at the time. And I'm disappointed to hear now that it's $6,000 more for the equipment. I didn't realize that. Thank you.
Councilwoman. So Councilwoman Williams, I don't know if all of that answered, or because we have our
No,
An engineer.
I appreciate the answer. I'm in complete agreement. This was monies that were bonded and approved from my service on the council 2 years ago in 2023. And it's very disappointing to hear that we have cost the taxpayers $6,000 additional dollars to improve a park and a playground that is basically a quality of life issue for those residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Rudin, you picked, full, sorry, 26725.
Yes, I had asked in my questions, that, sorry. For the exhibits A, B, and C, which were not attached.
They're online. Yeah. Pictures.
Would I know that?
Our agendas are posted online on Friday morning. All of our materials are posted online
Okay.
with all the exhibits.
Well, I did not know that, and I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I was going by the packet.
So in your packet, did you get it in your packet?
No. I did not.
Oh, so in the future, if that should happen, if you could give a call to the office and I'll get it to you right away. I didn't realize that.
Okay, I put that in my questions. and
I know, but
didn't
I'm
get
just saying,
response.
once you get your packet on Thursdays, as soon as you look at it and you see that something might be missing, you know,
Okay.
it's just
In the future,
easier.
I certainly will.
Yeah, sure. And I apologize for it not being in the packet. I didn't realize that. Is there a motion to approve
Make a
267?
motion to approve it.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? And just as again, context, we discussed this at length at the last regular council meeting, and Mr. Semeraro agreed that we needed to make changes to a lot of the documentation, and that was done.
Yeah.
So just as a reference.
And I want to thank Councilwoman Rudin for a lot of her suggestions and within that. So thank you, Councilwoman.
Are we ready to vote?
Any further discussion? Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Castellino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rudin?
Yes.
Councilwoman.
Yes.
Thacker, Councilwoman Williams?
Yes.
Council President Krokoviac?
Yes.
The motion carries. 269-25, resolution authorizing submission of an electronic grant application identified as LTPF 2026 Woodland Avenue, Forest Avenue, McCluskey 00037 to the New Jersey Department of Transportation on behalf of the Township of West Orange. Councilwoman Rudin, you had a question on this.
Yes, this was again another question that I submitted in my questions. I would just like an explanation of what this project is and the terms of the grant.
Mr. Smarldo, are you able to?
Which one is this again? I'm sorry. I was
This was 269-25.
Yeah, the director's there, but I'm gonna see if 269, I believe that was answered as well from the director. So let me double check.
So this is no different than any other DOT grant. Basically, the project is gonna consist of doing milling and paving, roadway improvements for drainage, striping.
Okay. This is on all of Woodland Avenue, Forest Avenue.
No,
What?
if you look at Woodland Avenue was actually recently paved.
Yes,
last
that's
year,
why I
all the
was
way to the-
wondering.
Yes, so it's actually gonna go from wherever the seam of the pavement is, all the way to Prospect Avenue.
Okay.
And then the other side is streets which haven't been done in, I believe, probably 30, 40 years now.
Okay.
Wow.
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 And that's a heavily traveled
Yeah.
street for sure.
It says no
especially
matter
for
the
the school.
fact.
Yeah. Let's get that contractor back.
Who was that contract?
Do you have questions about the other streets or?
No, I was just, I know that Woodland was recently done. That's why I
Yeah.
was, that's
So-
why I was asking.
Yeah, so Woodland is gonna be from Forest Avenue to Terrace Avenue, and then Woodland Avenue from Terrace to Prospect, which is basically, like I said, from the seam of the pavement all the way to the county road on Prospect. Then you got Forest Avenue from Willen Avenue to the dead end, McCloskey Court, which is a little tiny street, and then you have Harper Street from Forest Avenue to Redwood Avenue.
Right. Okay, so this is a grant.
We're applying for the grant.
Applying.
We've been lucky before. Typically, we get between $950 to $1 million, so I figure we could use it here. The last time that we used this grant were on LTPF 2023 and 2024, which we used them for South Valley Road, which is a long stretch of road. So I figure we could do the same thing here, and that way we don't have to come up with so much money.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Councilwoman Rudin, you've,
Yes, I'm good.
okay, Councilwoman Williams.
Thank you, Director Carballo. Sure. There was, I don't have it in front of me. I couldn't find it in my paperwork, but the terminology for the asphalt paving, is it red hot or,
HMA, hot mid asphalt?
hot mill asphalt?
Yes.
I just wanted, if you could just give us a little bit of, explanation about the difference.
Sure. So the hot mid asphalt pavement, you have either 9.5 M, which is like medium asphalt. Typically, that's the surface course. Then you also have the HMA base course, which is typically 19.5. That's
Is that
Tip-
depth? I'm sorry, is that depth?
no.
19.5?
Yes, that's like the thickness. So typically the roadway will be DGA, which is 6 inches. Then you have approximately 4 inches of base course, which is the base asphalt. And then you have the surface course, which is typically 2 inches. So you have about a foot, 12 inches depth.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Madam Clerk?
Oh, yes, sorry. Okay, so next is 271-25, resolution approving a professional services contract with Matrix New World Environmental Services for tasks outlined in their proposal for the property at Rock Spring Golf Club, in an amount not to exceed $49,800. Councilwoman Castellino, you had a question.
I had it down as it was Councilwoman Rudin.
You pulled it. I just had a question.
Oh, okay, sorry, excuse me.
Yes.
Sure.
I just wanted to pull this to put on the record once again that the reason we now have this cost is because we bought contaminated land and we accepted the land as is in the contract, even knowing that there was a bit of contamination. And now the township and the taxpayers are on the hook for paying almost $50,000 to do a cleanup at Rock Spring. And we still have not received 1 penny of money from Green Acres for the purchase of this property as a result, because this is now tying up our Green Acres money.
Ms. Carballo, my reading of the documentation was that the good news was they didn't find any problems in the examination, but the bad news is it's going to cost us almost $50,000 to do one more test to confirm and then to close up shop. And-
Yes.
And there's not a whole lot we can do about that, but it is relatively good news. And I'm not disputing what Councilwoman Rudin was saying because that was a long time ago and that was part of the issue, but it's not as bad as it could have been. I guess
I guess we're lucky. The select field was not contaminated, which we were concerned. They actually have to test the groundwater in the wells again. They also have to do a site investigation report that needs to be amended. The LSRP will actually fill this out, submit it to DEP. Once that is, I guess, reviewed by DEP, then we will do the remedial action outcome plan, which is basically to close it out. So hopefully we'll be able to do this, I would say maybe in the next 3 months or so.
Question.
Sure.
Councilwoman.
So I guess for yourself and Mr. Jatiniak, where does that leave us? We were approved for over $1 million for Green Acres for 2025, correct? And and do we have to wait for that to close out to receive the monies, or does this report suffice that so we can move forward to receive the monies?
I believe we have to close out the remedial action report before we can draw down. Well, before we're given permission to draw down.
So again, when we bought the property, were there any funds held in escrow for any of this remediation?
Not that I know of, no.
Attorney could look to see.
I'm sorry?
I said, could the attorney look to see what?
Yeah, I mean, if there's, and I'll certainly take a look, but sometimes you get property for an extraordinarily low price in consideration for no contingencies. You buy it kind of sight unseen. And, it might have cost you, X millions more if you had had gone through the phase 1, phase 2 process and all that. And so it costs you a little something to get past that, but I don't know that for a fact, so I'll certainly look
Yeah,
into it.
that could be dove into a
Report
little
back.
bit. Thanks.
That was not the case here. It was $12 million. So
Waiting for somebody to say that.
Well, it could have been 15. But I'll check into that.
Okay.
Councilwoman Rudin.
I'm sorry.
It was noted in the original contract that there was a concern.
Yes,
I'm glad to hear that the concern was not as serious as it was, but it was noted and in the contract it said that the township accepted as is. So I don't believe that there were to be any money in an escrow for this.
No, I don't remember that either, so.
Okay.
Okay, is there a motion to approve 271-25?
Second?
Councilwoman Castellino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rudin?
Yes.
Councilwoman Scarpa?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams?
Yes.
Council President Krokoviac?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's pull that reso.
Now we are on.
Oh, it's already been pulled. 263. Now we.
Yes, now we have to do, oh yeah, we have to do the consent, sorry. Yeah, is there a motion to approve?
So
the
moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Rudin has a
Yes.
question.
Just before we do the consent, I just wanted to thank our new attorney, Mr. Semeraro, for revising 26825, which had to do with the helicopters coming into Montclair to add, as I had requested, to make sure that Montclair Country Club adds West Orange as an additionally insured to protect the township. God forbid something terrible happens with two different landing events in West Orange. So I just wanted to thank Mr. Semeraro for making that quick change.
Madam Clerk.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second on the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The consent agenda is implemented. Now on to ordinances on second and final reading. 2942-25, an ordinance creating a reclassification and salary schedule of certain Township of West Orange employees, setting forth their titles, classification, and salary ranges, and adopting a salary guide and establishing the employee status as a Township employee under the guidelines of the New Jersey Department of Personnel. Is there a motion to introduce on second and
Make a
final?
motion to introduce.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Councilwoman Castellino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rudin?
I'm going to abstain on this.
Councilwoman Scarpa?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams?
Yes.
Council President Krokoviac?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Now is the time for the public hearing on ordinance 2942-25. If anyone in the audience would like to speak, please raise your hand, be recognized, and you can come to the podium. You can bump our town engineer off to the side and have up to 5 minutes to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance only. Would anyone like to speak? Seeing no hands raised, I close the public hearing. Madam Clerk.
Okay, is there any council discussion?
I just wanted to add that the reason we're passing this is because we're adding some titles to the salary guide that reflect collaboration between the council and the administration to add a municipal department head planning director, a long sought position that we were able to convince the mayor to do. I think will be a great benefit to the township. We're adding keyboard clerk / secretary to the mayor and a transportation analyst. So with that said, I just thought that would fill out the reason why we're doing this. Is there anybody who has any further comment? Oh, wait, we have to do the motion. Did we do the motion?
No, not yet.
Okay. So is there a motion?
I move to adopt on second and final reading, 2942-25.
Second.
Okay. Now discussion.
Any discussion?
No.
I sort of drained that.
All
Okay.
right, Council,
Good job. Describe.
Councilwoman Castellino,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rudin,
Same.
Councilwoman Scarpa,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Council President Krokoviac.
Yes.
Okay, the motion carries.
Council President? if I
Yeah.
may. Just echo your sentiment, on behalf of the mayor, we would appreciate the collaboration that we have here. Everybody seems to be able to move forward with a lot of the different programs we're looking at, and I, for one, appreciate the support of the council as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
Amen. Madam Clerk.
Okay, 2944-25, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 19 Sewer subsection 19-1.3 and Chapter 20 Streets and Sidewalks subsection 20-3.2 of the revised general ordinances. These amendments to the sewer, the street, and the sidewalk ordinances will delete the fee schedules for inspection of sewer, curb, and sidewalk repair or replacement by contractors working in the township and establish that the new fee schedules will be prescribed by a resolution of the Township Council. Is there a motion to introduce on second
Motion
and
to
final?
Introduce.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, Councilwoman Castellino.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rudin.
Yes.
Councilwoman Scarpa.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Council President Krokoviac.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you. Now is the time for public hearing on ordinance 2944-25. If anyone would like to speak, please raise your hands, be recognized by the chair, and you will have 5 minutes at the podium, up to 5 minutes at the podium to comment on this ordinance and this ordinance only. Do I see any hands?
Mr. President, isn't that what we just voted on?
No, this is the next one.
You got to keep up with us.
I mean, I've got, okay.
We're on.
Got to keep up with us.
Wait.
I know that we've been trying to break you in.
I missed,
And
I missed something a couple of votes ago, so.
oh no, you were spectacular. You paid for yourself tonight with stopping us from screwing up the approval of the resolution associated with
Don't
this. So
mind me.
you're an all-star.
If you need any information, you can always reach out to me and I'll give it to you.
So seeing no hands, given an extended period of time, I'm closing the public hearing and turning back over to Madam Clerk unless there's any discussion.
No, I
Okay.
move for the adoption of 2944-25.
Okay,
Second.
thank you. Councilwoman Castellino.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rudin.
This is with the sewer.
Yes. Councilwoman Scarpa.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Council President Krokoviac.
Yes,
The motion carries.
great. Let's go back to the resolution before
Yes, 263.
Mr. Pastor, we leave him behind again.
Okay, so we're
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
We're back at 263-25, resolution prescribing fees as set forth in ordinance 2944-25 and ordinance amending and supplementing chapters 19, section 19-1.3 and chapter 20, subsection 20-3.2 of the revised general ordinances. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
Councilwoman Castellino,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rudin,
Yeah.
Councilwoman
Yeah.
Scarpa,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Council President Krokoviac.
Yes.
Okay, the motion carries. Now we are back on ordinances on first reading. 2945-25, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 7 Traffic subsection 7-21 multi-way stops of the revised general ordinances of the Township of West Orange. The ordinance, which amends the traffic regulations of the township, designates the intersection listed as a multi-way stop intersection with stop signs on all approaches. Due to the safety concerns and multiple requests from the township residents, the township's engineering division authorized a traffic study by Brightview Engineering that determined that a multi-way stop intersection would allow safe movement of vehicles and pedestrians, especially during rush hours and school dismissal hours. Is there a motion to introduce on first reading?
Second.
Thank you. Councilwoman Castellino,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rudin,
Yes.
Councilwoman
Yes.
Scarpa, Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Council President Krokoviac.
Yes, as
The
long as we
motion
have
carries.
Ms. Carvalho, because she doesn't want to go home.
Yeah.
Could you just explain just to everybody, I think this is only one item in this ordinance. Could you just explain why we're doing this?
We're doing this because I received a couple of emails actually from a few parents who drop off their kids in the morning in this area by the Roosevelt Middle School. And they actually said that they were close encounter accidents. So since I received more than, I would say, probably 3 to 4 emails, I decided to contact Brightview Engineering to conduct this study. And indeed, it does
Yeah.
call for a full way stop.
Okay, yeah, because what's exists there now, because that's sort of in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Is a two-way stop.
Yes, right now the stop signs are only on Dartmouth.
Yeah.
And now we're
Gotcha.
gonna add them on Forest Hill Road. So next council meeting, hopefully, we just gotta put up the signs.
Oh, yeah.
I already have it striped.
Okay, it was one of my favorite intersections in Gregory, because there wasn't a stop sign there, so.
And the park's right here too, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it's a good place.
Okay.
Okay. 2946-25, an ordinance amending chapter 28, sections 1 to 11 of the 1-11 of the revised general ordinances of the Township of West Orange, establishing certain standards, procedures, and fees for tree protection, removal, and replacement. Is there a motion to introduce on first reading? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
Discussion. Please.
I would like to table this.
Second.
Yeah, I was gonna second that too.
You don't want to talk about trees at
No.
midnight?
No.
Well,
I do not, and it's not even debatable.
Okay, so here's the situation. If it's tabled, we only have one more meeting in the year. So you would have to bring it back
Start
at the
over.
next meeting. You'd have to start all over
So-
for the new year.
So I could just explain as to why it was presented this way.
We do know it.
just a second.
I just want to give the explanation
Yes,
for the
please.
public, that's all. So our forestry division had asked for this request because they feel that there's about 33 or so minor changes that need to be addressed. Some of them have to do with either like typo or looking for the word viable as opposed to non-viable for trees. And the biggest concern I had was for the amount of money that's in the tree replacement program. Because the previous council had set it at a lower rate than it was originally presented at. And what they're finding is that the $250 rate that we're collecting for a tree is way less than the cost of the trees that we're planting that are the option for the homeowner or the business. So that was their concern. That's why we brought it. And if there's further discussion, and we wanted to try and get this done completed, approved prior to January 1st, because we have the renewal of all the licenses for our tree services and providers and things of that nature. So we were trying to cut down some work for the staff so they don't have to do it twice. Because if this doesn't get passed or doesn't get approved, then they're going to do it, they're going to minister based on the previous or the current. And if it does get approved, and if it is approved on the second time we introduce, then they're going to have to do duplicate work. So they were trying to reduce the amount of work, that's all. So, and we apologize for the late coming in, but this was something that we thought was, as it was told to me, that this may have been given some consideration. So I'm just giving you the explanation, and the council could do whatever they would like to choose to do tonight. So that's all.
So procedurally, if you want to proceed with the motion to table, you'll need to rescind the second and the motion. And then you can proceed, you'd have to remake your motion to table.
Okay, let's discuss,
So my recommendation is.
because we already.
You already have the motion and the second on the
We
underlying.
have the motion to approve it on first reading.
Right.
If there can't be, if we can't come to resolution with this, with any amendments for a second reading, then we either pass it or we vote no and we move to next year.
Right, Councilwoman.
Amendments on second reading would mean that we would start over anyway.
Yeah.
And I just have some couple of it would change substantially the ordinance. So, I mean, I just think we could wait because there's some other things that I'd like to discuss with my colleagues since I'm just getting here, with concerns from when we passed it originally. I just think that the replacement for non-viable trees is punitive, and I'd like us to reconsider that part of the contribution to the fund. I've just had a lot of residents who have had to remove trees. They were dead. There was nothing that they did to cause the tree to die. When you have to spend $8,000 or $9,000 to remove a tree, any contribution is still punitive towards our homeowners. So only the portion when it's a non-viable tree or when it's a tree that's.
And the other issue too is that the difference between viable and non-viable is that we're saying that viable trees can be no more than two, which is whatever the code is. But it doesn't say if the person has two dead trees or if two viable were taken down and then there's a third dead tree that it may become an emergency and we can't take it down. So there are some things that we think that should be, re-examined and addressed. And so, I mean, if that's the case and, we don't want to pass this forward, that's fine. We could sit down and talk about this. We could have a couple of council members sit with our experts and let them, and we could hash it out, make something that's more presentable for after January. So, we just wanted to put this forward now so it would be under some kind of consideration. So,
Councilwoman.
thank you.
Yeah, I've kind of said this a number of times, and I really feel like we have to think about this. We cannot get something as important as this that takes some time to digest on like Friday afternoon and be expected to vote on it. I am not going to, I'm going to vote no or table anything that's like this that really needs some due diligence. And I really want to ask that we stop doing this, that we stop putting things on at the final hour.
So Councilwoman, just so the council president could say, I did advise him this a week or so ago. I thought we had a conversation. Unfortunately, the attorney who was preparing this was ill last week, so this wasn't intentional to put on this quickly. We understand this is very important. That's why we wanted for consideration. At least we're having a conversation about it now, and we're willing to pull this to work with you on this. But it was just that only because we have 2 meetings left that we didn't know if there would be consideration or not. That's all. That's the only reason. This wasn't to try and jam something through. It was just about trying to have that communication. So, and I understand where
In
you're
the
coming.
future, let's really try not to.
Oh, no, we're making that effort. We're making concerted efforts, so,
Thank you.
Councilwoman Castellino, did you have a question or a comment?
Yeah, so what do you want us to, well, what I am going to ask of him, thank you, Council President. What I am going to ask of administration is in regards to what residents have been having to pay for replacement costs this year, can we get some kind of record of it?
yeah, I can ask the.
Yeah, but I like to see a record of it, because again, maybe I lost that part of the amendments with the vote, with the viable trees to have to replace if, I thought we took that out, so.
If I may, Council President, if you want to have all the questions directed to you again, and
Okay.
then this way you can forward them to
Yeah.
me, and then we'll, include in the information. Okay?
Just a quick question. It's procedural. If we have a council meeting on the 9th and it is approved on first reading, how much longer do we have to wait in order to have a second meeting? Because maybe we can have a special meeting if it's
10
convenient
days.
for everyone, particularly
10 days.
10 days. Oh, so we could
10 days
still.
after publication.
Okay, so that's be a few days after. So we could possibly pass it this year if we spend between now and the 9th working out all the details and then maybe present a slightly different version. What does everybody think about that? Councilwoman?
I don't know where you're seeing that dead trees have to be replaced. That was removed. That is not part of this
Okay.
ordinance.
So I didn't.
It was removed. If you see it, let me know where it is, but I had a big hand in this and I remembered this council removed that. So
Yeah.
that's not part of it. As far as the fee schedule, we are not adhering to the fee schedule that was posted, and I don't know how to address that. Trees are being taken down and are going into the tree fund, and it's a very arbitrary amount that is being determined. And I don't know if that should be addressed in this ordinance, it should be mandatory that the fees that we are assessing for replacement based on size be adhered to.
Councilwoman, how do you know? Do you have any documentation that that's
Yes.
going on?
Yes, I
What's the
do.
documentation? Could you circulate it to everybody so we could?
Yeah, we need to look.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, I did point it out that all of the trees that were taken down at the manor, the assessment for the tree was $48.
It's litigation.
Wait. Just. one
Also,
sec.
the trees that were just taken down at Mount Pleasant Forest, they were $250 a tree when they should be either 500 or 1,000 based on the circumference of the tree, the DBH. It was very clear in the ordinance. And if you look at the permit that was just circulated about the Mount Pleasant Forest, we are not adhering to those fees.
We need information on that.
We were waiting to see if you had a
No,
response.
I provided a response on the amount of trees and everything else. I wasn't asked the amount of money that was spent on it. So that's a question again. If you send it to us, we can certainly get that information. It's from what our staff have been telling us is that they're having a difficulty administering the fees. That's in comparison. There's some contradictory. So I think that's part of the conversation we need to have. You can shake your head. No, I'm just telling you what they told me. So that's what they told me. I've had these conversations. So let's have that conversation. We can meet with the staff, and I know 2 council people can meet, and we can set up a meeting. So you pick amongst yourselves who wants to attend the meeting, and then we'll set up a meeting with them. This way we could try and get this, if it is the will of council to try and get this on for the next meeting, we could do that. We can even get one of our attorneys involved. So I would suggest that maybe early next week, at some point after the holiday, that we can set up a meeting and I'll find their availability and I'll send you a couple times and see what we can do.
Is this something in terms of the fees that are documented? I would think so, because if we're taking in money, we got to have a record of it, right?
They're from what I'm being told, the money is being collected and they keep that within the software that they're administering. So I will ask them. I don't know the exact numbers. I will ask them and we can provide that for you.
Well, let's get the details and just circulate them to the council. So before that meeting.
Yeah, I'd also like to know if the fees that are charged in court also make it to the tree fund.
That's a question we have to ask the courts. Maybe
I'd be shocked if they were.
If they were?
If they were. I mean, municipal court money is
They keep
administered separately, but it may based on policy, but I would be surprised.
For a fine for removing trees,
They get.
who gets that money?
Local ordinance fines collected go into the general fund as a general matter. I mean, in other words, if you get a littering fine or if you get any other local ordinance type fine, that's why in the municipal courts, the court loves ordinances over statutes, because a lot of the statute money goes to Trenton, but the ordinance money all stays home. But I'd be shocked if it was getting reappropriated to the tree fund.
It's probably just part of our monthly turnover from the municipal court. It's an anticipated revenue, as our attorney says. So it's not, I don't see a detail. I just get a check from the municipal court.
But if it doesn't go to court, we keep it.
Well, if somebody just pays their replacement money, it goes into our tree trust.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if it goes to
But
court.
if it's going through the court, no, I don't get like a breakdown that says, $500 is tree fund and $500 is penalty. That would be part of it's all lumped together just in their check to us for the fines and fees.
But go ahead.
Is there any way to change that? Because apparently we got $13,000 from the manor, from one of the parties at the manor, and that is just going into the municipal and that was for tree removal. It really seems that that should go into the tree fund.
We need to
I
tighten
mean,
that.
I would have to know about it.
I
and
can
it
probably
would
take that.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a lot of experience with municipal courts that's governed by the judiciary. Their bookkeeping is guided by Supreme Court guidelines. So I don't know that they have latitude to make that distinction. I don't know. They might. So that's something we have to check out with the court because they're a completely separate branch of government, their judiciary. So how their books are handled is beyond the jurisdiction of the municipality or even how executive action is taken.
Yeah, that we can.
So just as a follow-up that Mr. Smarldo said, let's try to schedule a meeting sometime next week. Is there any two of us that want to attend that meeting?
I do.
Okay, is there anybody else? I'll go if nobody else does, but
if you want to go, go. I
Council-
go the end of the week, I can't.
you expressed some interest if we wanted to. Okay, so we got our two people for this.
Okay, I will send out an email to both and copy BCC the rest and try and get it scheduled.
That sounds good. And if you could just provide us any of the documentation to everybody,
Yep.
that would be great. Ahead of the meeting, that would probably be helpful.
Yep.
What was the other thing that we needed to have two people meeting?
But I hope we bring the birthday cake on December 9th.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Ah, congratulations.
Cupcakes or something.
Was there something else that we wanted to meet Mr. Smartle with you about? I'm sorry,
I don't believe so at this time. I think we were discussing that and I believe I believe the other thing we wanted to speak about was already passed the salary ordinance in second reading. I think that was something we were gonna, but I sent you information and you reviewed it. That's what we spoke about earlier today.
oh, I was another meeting that you wanted to have with two of the council members, but I can't remember what it was.
I don't recall
Maybe I
this
was wrong.
time, but if we do, I don't recall this time, but if we do, well,
Okay, I'm happy to be wrong.
yep.
Madam Clerk.
Where there's some.
Okay, so we have a vote on the floor to introduce on first, I'm sorry, we have a motion and a second on the floor to introduce on first reading.
Well,
Well,
you would normally do that, but you already had a motion and a second, so
You
to
can
approve.
Go
So-
two ways. You can either withdraw the second, then withdraw the motion, or you can just take a vote and vote no. Either is the same. Because if you want to make revisions to the text of the ordinance, then you might as well vote no and start from scratch, because tabling just means you take the same thing and kick it down the road.
right.
So let's do that. Let's go.
Okay, so you want to,
Rescind my motion to.
No,
We're
no,
gonna
no.
vote again.
You're gonna rescind the motion to
Right.
table.
okay,
Vote it down.
any further discussion? Madam
Well,
Clerk.
there was no motion to table. It was a motion to approve.
Right,
To
okay,
introduce.
and that's what we're going to go forward on, because I think
Right, so you,
there may be enough votes.
if you
to
don't
vote it
want to go
down.
forward with it, vote no. So Councilwoman Castellino,
No.
Councilwoman Rudin,
No.
Councilwoman Scarpa,
No.
Councilwoman Williams.
No,
Council President Krokoviac.
No.
Okay,
motion to adjourn?
Ah,
No, we have
you wish.
pending matters.
Pending matters,
Gosh.
pensive pending matters.
Now motions to adjourn are not debatable.
That is true, that is true.
That I can tell you for sure.
That is true.
Well, those are-
But it does need a second though.
So is there any new business? I don't see anything on the agenda, so.
No, but I'd like to add, I'd like to revisit because we have had some, I guess, stall in a couple of the ordinances that I've tried to bring forward. And now that we have a new attorney and an assistant attorney, I would like to bring back for the next meeting, the noise ordinance and the fire pit ordinance and the Tree of Heaven ordinance. So those have already, there's been considerable work on each of those. And I can send them to the attorney's office with the revisions.
So you feel like those are ready to go, is
Wow.
almost in their current form?
Almost.
Okay.
And I have also seen the fire pit ordinance that Mr. Semeraro suggested, and I can send comments back on that one as well. And then if it gets to first reading, then I mean, it won't be so different from what everybody has already seen.
Right.
If people want to make amendments at that time, then we will, and we'll go back to another first reading.
I'll report that back.
If we could just a second. I just want to bring up that I've had separate conversations with Mr. Smeraldo and Mr. Semeraro because there's such a backup. There's a lot of ordinances that are outstanding to just put together a table with a status report so that we can identify everything that needs to be considered. And it sounds like Councilman Rudin has left me in the dust. But what I'd like to do is certainly move ahead on these, but also get this status report because I think there's 7 or 8 of them on there that I could think of that's been backed up.
So if you can, yeah, I'll provide a list, and if there's anything else we can do, because I know like the fire pit, Mr. Semararo's office has provided some information on it through the chief. And the noise ordinance, I don't know where that was. That was actually handled through Mr. Trank's office. We'd have to go through that again. Was waiting for commentary. And so the clerk and I can, we can caucus together and figure out what was owed.
I don't know.
Yes, I don't know.
Yeah,
If you know the numbers, I mean, know the ordinances that we're talking about, I don't know exactly every single one we're talking about tonight.
Okay.
So it's something to refresh our memory.
Okay, I'll
we'll
make
get
sure
updated.
that the 3 that Councilwoman was working on gets added. I'm not sure all 3 of them are there. And then I'll circulate it like.
And I'll check back with Mr. Semararo's office and we
Okay.
can explain that the council would like to see these for introduction on the 9th.
Okay, sounds good. Councilwoman.
Thank you. Just procedurally, my question is, I thought that we had to have a majority vote to move something to the next meeting. Has that already been done for these 3? So why are we putting them on without a majority vote from the council to do so?
I don't know.
I was under the impression there was a consensus.
There may have already been. Some of
there-
the stuff has been sitting around for months.
Not the fire pit ordinance.
Yeah, not the fire pit. I'm sorry.
No.
Let's just one at a time,
Each
please.
of these,
Hold on just a second. Councilwoman Williams, you have the floor. So.
each of these that I mentioned, we already.
Wait, please. Councilwoman Williams has the floor and we'll get to you just as soon as she's finished. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Fire pit ordinance, I've not seen any indication, any preview, any discussion from this body in a total before it can move to the next meeting. So I think the recommendation has to be based on past practice and my understanding that it has to come before us for a majority vote before it can go on to the next meeting.
Right.
That's typically what we've been doing.
What is it?
That's fine.
Hold on. Councilwoman Rudin had asked, do we have an answer to Councilwoman Williams? Because Councilwoman Rudin really wants to talk.
I believe that it's council president's discretion. But if that's not the way you've handled it, it's, then if you've historically done it, because I don't think there's statute on that as far as listing it. So I, can take a vote and see if the council would like to see it on the agenda.
Okay, Councilwoman Rudin.
Okay, so for each of these, we have discussed it under new business, some of these 2 to 3 times. And each time the body agreed to move it forward. At that point, something else was given to us. For instance, with the fire pit ordinance, we discussed some of the few points that we wanted. The legal department, which was then Trank, put together an ordinance that had really nothing to do with what we had talked about.
Right.
That didn't negate the fact that what we had initially spoken about was to move forward the ordinance that we had suggested. So then there was another backtrack to have hearing from the fire department, which was worthwhile. And then they were going to have some input. So we have gone through the motion several times to get the fire pit ordinance on. And as well as we have talked about the noise ordinance, we talked about it extensively. It went through new business, and then a version came on, and then it was stopped. The Tree of Heaven, the same thing, came up under new matters. We discussed that at least twice, that would be moving forward, and it again was stopped. So I'm bringing up matters that this council previously agreed to move forward.
So the way it was originally explained was that they were essentially in the can in introductory form, and we could just put them on the table, and if that's not the case, then I think you should take a vote just to be sure that a majority wants to see it on. Since you only have 2 meetings left, if something gets put on, it's now going to need substantive revisions, it's kicked back to January anyway. Well, actually, with 1 meeting left, unless you have a special, you're not going to get it done. I don't know when your sign die is, but you don't generally second read
Yeah.
and hearing on ordinances in your sign die. So unless it's some sort of urgent matter, I think you're probably better off kicking it into January and doing it as part of the new year, because with 1 meeting left, legally you can't.
Why couldn't it go up
Yeah.
for first reading?
Because you've got a second read in the same calendar year as the introduction.
Yeah, you have enough time, enough meetings.
You won't have a second meeting
Meeting Christmas.
in 2025 December in order to finalize.
Okay, so I'd like these to go up so that they will be on in the first week in January.
Okay. I mean, maybe drafts for discussion,
Yes.
on the 9th would be.
Yeah, because I can't remember some of this stuff, so it's
Right.
been that long. It's been that long. Councilwoman.
So we did, just for councilman to know, late at night, I forget how the vote went. I didn't vote.
Zombie time.
Yeah, but there was discussion for it to move forward. And I remember I worked with Councilwoman, we were on the phone with Mr. Rivera when you were away. And I think we agreed then with Mr. Rivera that the Tree of Heaven wasn't really going anywhere with the support from the council. So I'm not sure. That's how I remembered it. The fire pit, the chief wasn't excited about that when he came, but he had no issue if we came to consensus on something that would work for the public. We don't want to ban the fire pits, but we just want to make sure people are burning what they're supposed to be burning. And so that one, I could see, what was the third one?
Noise.
The noise we got stuck on because it's about the decimal reading.
No, it's
And-
not. We're not using decimals.
Please don't interrupt. Please. just-
Okay, so January, if we see a version of that we could start looking at. I think the closest one you'll have to maybe passing would be the fire pit one. I wasn't going to support the Tree of Heaven as it was written at the time. So, anyway, but we did, in fairness to Councilwoman, it was pushed forward because we did vote.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Rudin.
Okay, so, if I may, where are these ordinances coming from? Is legal writing them or?
Well, that's part of the issue that I think we need to address, because we talk about them at new business, and unless we have it written down so that we can modify them before we vote on them, sometimes we're just agreeing to something sight unseen, because Mr. Trank was strongly in favor of the legal department writing the ordinances.
It's in the ordinance. It's in our ordinance.
Right. But there is a perspective that I share, which is that we should draft something in writing so that we can discuss it at new business, and then at least give a good draft to the legal department so that they know what we're looking for. And then they can vet and say, oh, this is illegal or this is not, whatever.
Do we have a standing ordinance committee of the council?
No.
That would be a really good idea. I mean,
Well,
at most places I've worked, they've had an ordinance committee that works with the municipal attorney to do these things, so.
Right. Our ordinance does not allow
Committee of-
standing committees.
That's
All we can
changed.
do is committees of the whole.
Oh,
So
okay.
maybe we need a ordinance committee to put together an ordinance that allows ordinance committees. But anyway, that. I'm
Don't
just
forget the
kidding.
ordinance.
Yes. Hold on a second. I'm not sure who had their hand up first. Did you have your hand up? Okay, please go ahead.
So the whole reason why during this vote was not to back up the attorneys, because, we start just throwing ordinances at you. We have to make sure, that you have enough time to get everything all done as well. So
And you don't want to be guessing either. We want to know what you want to see, and so it
Well,
all
make sure you have the support from your, that we
Right.
have a general idea,
understood.
Yeah,
not
and-
to waste time and money.
And Mr. Cimarero, I've talked with him and I think he's talked to the council that he agrees with that.
I have a question. Can't the council president, create committees as he sees fit, or she?
The ordinance does not allow that. It just allows committee of the whole.
Yeah.
But that certainly is something to look at, but I would think that that's going way back to, when we originally adopted.
1972.
Yeah, this is my first foray into Faulkner government, so I know this stuff pretty well, but I'm gonna be learning for a few months.
The water's not that deep. Come on in.
About what you can and can't do exactly.
If you could just look into that and see if there's any way that we could create committees to do different things like that through the council president or whoever. I
Yeah,
think
it seems
would
to
be
make
valuable.
sense.
Council
So
president doesn't
it's
have.
probably not allowed if it makes sense, right?
Motion to adjourn.
Well, just one comment, just to that. Again, like we don't have the authority for that. We could vote to see if we want to move forward, but we could also have a work meeting where we all work together to make sure that we give the attorneys something substantial that we know that is passable as opposed to wasting time and money. We could do that.
It's pretty difficult to pull everybody together.
Especially with the holidays coming up.
Is there any other issue?
I have another question. Could we use a conference agenda to do that kind of thing? No?
It's right there in the ordinance. There's no allowance for committees. That's the bottom line, and that's our ordinance. That's
Can we
section of the
rewrite it?
law.
Could
So,
we rewrite-
right? I'm
Can we
sorry.
can we rewrite it? I mean, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was suggesting. If that's what we
Yeah,
want to do,
let's fix
we can take a look at that.
We need 8 million committees. It's just insane.
A working session would solve those problems. That's why most municipalities have them.
Yes.
Yes,
Motion to adjourn.
I'm allowing that. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting is adjourned.
Great motion.
We have like
Well, it was
20
great.
committees.
It was great.